to the Gamegasm podcast. We put the O in radio. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the show. My name is Jeremy.
Overrated Vahawala. It's St. Patrick's Day, so Brian.
What's that? Before we even get to
I
Andrew.
don't even. I'm Andrew. What were you saying?
Vahawala?
You're saying that like I fucking should. You're like, are you really don't know?
It's Aurora, you welcome home. It's a traditional Irish song.
Oh.
It's more of an independence fighter song.
I was hoping for like Tech 9 again, but I get that.
I'm keeping it real with my peeps.
Tech 9? Sorry.
Andrew here. What's up, guys?
And we're the Gamegasm podcast. So, last week my mom's grandma died. Or my wife's grandma died. I'm sorry. Some grandma died.
Someone died.
And it was not fun. So we skipped last week. Hope you guys don't mind. It was a rough week.
Tuck and roll, grandma.
You know what also was a rough week? The comment section.
Apparently, they don't like our opinions.
They
just some.
They didn't like our opinions. And I expect that.
Well, no,
we're gamers.
We're very opinionated people, for one thing.
We are. And we're gamers. We're gamers that disagree with most gamers on some topics. And this was a big one.
And we're also all sports fans, too.
Yes.
So therefore, those two...
They collided. Gigantic. They clashed.
Yes.
And, a lot of people who probably listen are not American or whatever. And the thing is, a lot of them were very perturbed by the soccer comments.
And okay, so let's clarify.
There was one comment who actually understood what we were saying. I don't remember that guy's name, but I think I commented afterwards, so good job for understanding what we're saying.
The point we're trying to make is, we're not saying that soccer, hockey, or video games, or any of the like, don't take an extreme amount of skill to play.
I think that's fairly obvious.
Yeah, it should be. Anything that is a sport or is an extreme activity of some sort.
Or even a skill of some,
Yeah. Hacky sack takes skill.
Woodworking takes skill. I can't build a fucking boat.
I can't, I'll buy a boat.
But woodworking's not a sport.
I can carve a canoe.
So, we're saying, damn it. I don't know where this is derailed
very quickly.
Let's just deflate it, take it down a notch. People were pretty angry.
So, the point we're making is, we consider soccer and hockey sports.
Yeah, we just
don't like them.
Yeah, we just hate them.
Yeah, they're not our thing.
I don't care enough to hate them. You hate them.
Oh, pigeonhole me.
Well, you were the guy.
I'm just saying,
soccer guy.
Like, I'm sorry that you are. You secretly, support Real Manchester or whatever.
Real Man.
I know it's Real Madrid and Manchester United. I actually know more about soccer. Like we were discussing beforehand. Back in 2010, I just started a new job and I travel a lot. And I stayed that whole 7 months straight living in a hotel. I tried really hard to watch the World Cup. Only because...
I remember you saying that.
I tried to watch it because it's basically the Olympics
feel like
with
you
one
should.
sport.
Yeah,
it's national, which I don't even fuck about America. No offense, we sucked at soccer. And the reason is, and all the people in, Europe will get mad, the truth is because American athletes do not play soccer.
Mm-mm.
No, to be honest, there's not as much money to be made.
There's no money to be made.
And
league
one
minimum?
of 12 people or whatever.
Yeah, but the league minimum in soccer is $35,000.
Wow, had no clue. And Major League
Major
Soccer?
League Soccer, $35,000.
Dirt, man.
Wow, I didn't know it was that low. I figured
you got to understand that, and this is going to sound bad, people who usually play soccer in America are people who aren't good enough to play real sports in America.
They're athletes who can run long distances. And
have really good attention spans. They won't get mad if fucking 90 minutes go by and like, nothing happened. We got points though because it's a tie.
We tied. You might have got points. We may not have it. The game's still over.
Like hockey, you give points for time. What the fuck? That point system in hockey pisses me off. Can't you just do win-loss?
It's better than they used to have it when they had the four things where you got the win, the loss, the tie, and then the lost tie.
What do you get for really bad ratings?
Or no. It was.
No, you got extra point for overtime.
Yes, yeah. Because if you got an overtime, and then if you won,
because you're a loser, but you were less of a loser.
So I remember seeing the Sports Center thing, and you had 4 categories. Why the fuck do you?
Maybe throwing fuel on the fire.
It's like the silver medal.
Yeah.
You're a loser. You're just less of a loser.
Yeah, good job. Yeah, go take that to fucking Belarus and tell them how awesome you are.
So anyway, the point we're trying to make is we know that it takes extreme amount of athletic ability to play soccer and hockey, and we know it takes an extreme amount of talent and skill to play both those sports, and strength and balance and agility. It takes a lot of things that we don't have.
No.
We just don't find it interesting.
Yeah, we just don't care. You're cushioning that blow, just to be honest. We just don't give a fuck.
And when it comes to gaming, it's just, we just don't believe it's a sport. That's as simple as that. We love gaming. We're gamers. I've been playing video games since I was 5.
And we've all been playing sports since about that old, too.
Oh, yeah.
You think about that. I've been playing since I was 5. That's a quarter of a century. If you don't think I'm a fucking gamer,
Eat a
crazy.
dick.
The amount of money we've all spent on games, the amount of time we've all put in games.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
gamers.
Yes.
And we're basically here to tell you that we don't think that we should ever be athletes.
We're taking the road
yeah.
less traveled.
Well,
Yeah.
Skull King, he's going to get 2 pubs this episode, so be happy for...
There are 2 Skull
Don't
Kings running
worry.
around, though, by the way.
There's only one in my heart.
Okay, 4,000 or
12993.
1,299?
12293.
Here's the problem. I don't know fucking numbers. If anybody's gathered this, if you put a bunch of numbers in your fucking name, I can't stand it.
XX hashtag yellow swag 420.
I'm sorry,
Blaze a
you
faggot.
didn't get that name. Come up with another one. Don't fucking give me a bunch of numbers. That just pisses me off. So I'm sorry if there's 2 Skull Kings, but there's only one in my heart.
I want you to know, I have a number in my name.
Yeah,
2 of
version
them.
01. That's okay. You're doing something else on there. I didn't think that was...
All that bad?
No.
And the only reason I did that was because
You
if
said
you
5
do-
minutes
if you-
alone was...
Xbox Live
yeah.
wouldn't let me do 5 minutes alone because it
Yeah.
started with a number.
Yeah, and if you do like fucking your birth year or something, whatever. Or a 1, but when it's like 6
Actually,
numbers...
12993 is his birth year.
Well, there
Or
you
is
go.
his birthday.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah,
Date.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
There you
yeah.
go. There you go.
There you go.
But anywho, he pointed out that, and this was back in July of last year, there was an article, and it was a big deal with League of Legends because they were trying to pub their game like they need more exposure.
Sure.
They were saying
It's like, oh, we need exposure so bad.
that the American Immigration Office said that they would give a temporary visa for them coming over here. Now, the article spun it as a sport. When in reality, that's not at all what it was. They were
No.
giving it to for extraordinary ability.
Of any kind.
Yes, which
They're
actually
just
nobody...
now including video games.
Nobody in
in
League of Legends actually has ever applied or got one. The only one who has is a StarCraft 2 player back in December.
Right.
The point is, and I was talking with him, is you could be a fucking bass fisherman. You could be fucking NASCAR. You could be a skateboarder. You could be a
Doesn't
chess,
matter.
a chess player.
Chess players have been
He
doing
said-
it for 30 years.
Yeah,
Anything that is a desirable skill for that area.
correct.
Whether it be for a competition, whether it be for, if you're going to immigrate there on a permanent basis, like you said, like a
Yeah.
heart surgery or something like that.
You have to be
That's-
elite.
Yeah, they're not
in
going to
an
give them
area.
they're not giving them immigration.
Yeah.
It's a temporary visa. I don't think they're going to go that far.
So he's going to hang out, play some video games, and go back home.
Correct.
Okay.
You just have to have a sponsor. Anything that has a sponsor could do it.
Yeah.
I mean, Ultimate Frisbee, if you got a sponsor, you could probably get a
Swing
visa.
it.
So the point is, it doesn't legitimize it in any way, shape, or form as a sport. It's just saying that it takes skill. The same thing that we spent half an hour plus last time explaining with all those sports.
Yeah.
It still is what we're saying. It just, we don't consider it a sport.
And I don't think that...
It's that simple. Really, it is that simple.
And I don't think that that's not a knock on it not being a sport. It's just it is
No.
you just are a sport. I mean, women basketball players aren't NBA basketball
It's
players.
like
They're in the
saying-
WNBA. That's not a bad thing. That's just where they play.
It's
I
like
mean,
saying broccoli isn't a dairy product. I mean, they have nothing in common.
It's not.
Well, kind
Fucking
of.
mind. When you put that much cheese on it to suffer down the shitty nastiness that is
Well,
broccoli.
I mean, we
can
can
say you're
just
taking
get rid
something
of
from
water and replace water with milk, and then we make like a broccoli dairy
Ah.
hybrid thing.
We need to get on the
We're
dairy
fucking
hard.
scientists now.
Right?
Yeah.
Welcome to the Science Gasm
I'm
podcast.
gonna get a visa somewhere now because I'm a fucking broccoli scientist.
He's like Gregor Mendel, but of broccoli.
Of chopping broccoli. Remember that?
Oh, Dana Carvey can eat a dick.
Dana
Oh,
Carvey.
it's so bad.
Party on, Wayne.
That was kind of funny,
Yeah,
that
no.
chopping broccoli thing, just because you were 12, and it was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is kind of funny. And then
Yeah.
you realized,
Chopping broccoli.
yeah. She chopped.
She chop it, she chop it. Okay, anyway. We got the mailbag.
We do have
Yeah.
Leg out.
sack of mail.
Okay, we got a guy going by Jace Face.
Jace face.
That sounds
Yeah.
familiar.
I don't know.
That doesn't sound familiar to me at all.
No. He's got not necessarily a two-bar question, but really just a solid question with a follow-up. He is he's been in computer design, graphical design. He's starting I believe we understand, a job, and he's going to make 3D mobile games.
Nice.
Something that typically we take a steaming pile of dump on.
Right.
He wants to know, what would we like to see? Like, what would we want out of a game that he could make one that actually would be a game that you'd want to play?
Okay.
It's kind of difficult because I feel like the games that we would want to see, you're going to see on
Console.
on a console
PC.
or a apples to apples here, a handheld. You're going to see it on a DS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to see it on a Vita or something like that. And I think that's going to be difficult because it's just not the nature of...
And
But-
we all hate one thing. We hate pay to play, and it's hard to make money
I
on
don't
mobile.
know pay to win.
Pay to win.
Yes.
I'll pay, what I meant.
Yeah, I knew what you meant. But the thing, look at the stick of truth, and this is a perfect example. They took an RPG. They took a genre. I mixed
I
those
see
two.
what you did there.
They took an RPG. They simplified it. It's very simple game. but the mechanics of it in the combat system
Are very
are
good.
awesome. Simple and awesome. That's what you need. You need to dumb down some genre and make it simple to control, yet fun and engaging, and put some intrigue in it so I'm not just like, ugh.
Use the story, because that's the one thing that doesn't require graphical power. Because in the day, phones are, I know, like, the S4 has got like 4 gigs of RAM. I mean, that's pretty... Yeah. When I was over the store when I was messing with my craziness for my phone, and that's what Dave was saying. It's like,
4 gigs.
I was like, are you serious about that? He's like, it is. It's like,
I remember overclocking the original Droid to like 1 gig, and you're like, fuck yeah, you know?
I mean, it's the phones are getting more powerful. I get that. But still, in the grand scheme of things, it's still only got so much processing power.
Right.
It's always going to look the way it's going to look.
It has nothing to do with the RAM. It has to do with the graphics.
Sure.
There's no graphics card, essentially.
I mean, I know it has a quad core, but it's still just basic, GPU.
I just imagine somebody walking around with a phone with like a fucking 780 sticking off of it or something, like a fucking Titan.
So, like, at the end of the day, you're going to have to do things that aren't going to be hindered by your medium. So you need to have story. And honestly, probably you can do humor, but not over the top where it's cheesy. If
you're not going to be able to do South Park humor. I mean, that's...
Yeah, if you could do a combination of those and make a good game where actually I'd want to find out what happens, that's the only way to really captivate somebody.
And also, don't be afraid to charge for the game. You know, I mean, obviously, if you're trying to make money on the game, obviously make money on the game. I think we all prefer you to charge up front for it, but put out a demo for the game. Put out a demo where you play the first level or two or whatever, or the first... the tutorial, and so you can get people interested in the game, and then you put out the game for, instead of putting it out for 99 cents and having me buy gems to buy equipment or to do that kind of thing, make it $7.99. Make it, make it $10. If your game
Let's
is
not
worth...
go Final Fantasy level.
Well, yeah, I mean, but those
$5 is a good limit for a game.
Yeah. Because if you're going to charge 10,
well,
it better be
I can get a $10 game on Steam.
Sure. Yeah, it better be a good fucking game.
But $5 or whatever, something that I'm not going to feel bad about spending money on.
Just as a caveat to all of this, I would almost say kind of avoid RPGs. It's hard to do a good RPG.
I agree. I think
a hack and slash is
an
good.
adventure is probably where you want to do.
But there's a lot of those out there too. I mean, like the Zenonia series. There's like 14 of those, and those are all like pay to win. And I played like 2 of them originally, and then I realized it's the same fucking game every single time.
Multiplayer, I think, would be important on a mobile game.
I will say this though: the only thing I don't like, I play once again back when I played like 8 hours a day. It seemed like I don't want. They all go right to MMO,
right?
And they're mostly pay to win. But honestly, I'm okay. I would prefer it not to be an MMO. Actually, I don't want any multiplayer. I'd probably, because here's the thing.
Well, it becomes, though.
No, it comes, there's like 5,000 and 10,000 people playing. How do you do a good multiplayer? I guess you do it from a few person or share it. But you get this big community, and that almost gravitates towards.
You ever play Words with Friends or Scrabble or any of those other
something like that would be a little
games
different,
where you say, I want to play a game. And boom, you're coupled with the person you're playing them
that would
head-to-head.
be okay. An actual multiplayer, maybe not an MMO aspect.
In a hack and slash game, maybe it's the same thing. However, you get randomly paired with somebody, and now you're in a co-op dungeon or something with them, or something.
See, that would be fun.
Something like that.
I'm just saying. I guess I was to reiterate or re-express what I was saying. I did not want an MMO style like Blood Brothers. That's one of the biggest downloaded games. Like, million people play it, and it's
I have no clue what it is.
I played it for a long time, so I realized you had to pay really to
always
win.
Do.
And it's really thousands and thousands of nameless people.
Mm-hmm. There is one series of games that I remember playing. Actually, I played a decent amount of it. Dungeon Hunter, I think, is what, very generic, but it was like Diablo. It was like Diablo, and there was no pay to win. The game was like The game was like $6 or $7, and they had a demo. I thought the demo was good, and it was actually well done. You play it, you got loot, there were upgrades. I mean, it wasn't this super deep game, but you had a skill tree and you had some in the 3D graphics. It was pretty well done, and the game was like $5 or $6, and there was nothing else to it.
All right.
Well, there you go.
Would we try it if you made it and sent it to us?
Yes,
of course,
absolutely.
Honestly, we'd even get a review you on it.
Hell yeah,
I have no problem doing that.
We'd probably talk about it. Okay, so we got Jack here. Now that's something we've talked about a lot, and he said he's listened to all the podcasts and hears talk about it, but he wanted to know, is multiplayer in the sense that we think of it, is it going to fade away? And if it is, but can it be revived?
Multiplayer, what does he mean by as we know it?
Well, like, as we keep talking about it. Me and you playing, because he actually specifically mentions Hot Seat.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, in Hot Seat.
The Hot Seat, couch-style, in-room multiplayer.
It's going to fade away.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it can't be revived. I think the problem is it's a yes and yes kind of answer.
I will say, though, I think it's going to fade away for the competitive games, but I think it'll come back in the casual games. Like your Wii and your Wii U stuff. I mean, the whole selling point of those systems was essentially get your family together and play games. but you're not going to be able to do the same thing with like a Call of Duty or a whatever.
Unless you do not allow online play. Which would probably be a suicide.
The thing is that it could easily be done. It's so simple. Give me the option to play online and the option to play with my friends online. If I want to call both of you guys, have you come over and play Call of Battlefield or whatever fucking shooter is out at that point, we should be able to split screen 3 ways
Agreed.
on one TV and play online like we were all at separate houses. Because half of the fun in growing up in that couch-style multiplayer was playing next to each other and going, oh, that's a fucking awesome shot, high-fiving.
Now, it's not as big of a deal because it's harder for our life, but if we were 15 right now, that's what we'd want to do,
yes.
and young people don't experience that because it's like, we're just going to get online and play. And
yes.
You're going to sit in your basement and play, and you're going to see your friend from a distance and never actually see him face-to-face.
Right.
Yep.
So, yes, we think it's going away, unfortunately, because it's not today's...
people don't care about it.
Yeah.
The younger people we're talking about, the ones that don't experience it, don't seem to act... If they went out there and actively purchased or clamored for it, it would probably come back.
That's because they don't experience. Just like Pokemon. People our age don't really know much about Pokemon unless they force themselves to go back and play it because it wasn't cool when we were growing up.
It was... Like, I'm a little younger. I was almost... I never liked Pokemon, but I was
you were
almost
close to the edge. You were too younger and you probably
like,
would have been
if I liked Pokemon, it'd be kind of one of them guilty pleasure kind of things for me.
Yeah.
Like, I like Pokemon.
But honestly, I tried to go back and play it, and I was like,
Yeah, I never really.
I'm good.
Well, I just need to give me some Squirtle. Never had that.
I'll give you a Squirtle.
Yeah. So now, we're going to answer from our good dear friend, Skulking.
Our left nut.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So he said there's lots of MOBAs out in the market right now, and it seems like there's a lot of them coming out, so it's a little bit of oversaturation. So do we feel this oversaturation in the market? And the follow-up to that is, how do we think it will affect the current MOBAs? So as all the new ones come out, do we think it's an oversaturation?
No, because what's happening right now is these MOBAs are trying to replicate what League of Legends has done.
Correct.
It's not going to happen. League of Legends is too big. They're the WoW at this point.
I don't know if it's oversaturation either yet.
No, you can put out 1,000 MMOs, and right now, WoW is the MMO. You can put out 1,000 shooters. Call of Duty is the shooter. There's just once you get to that pinnacle, that number one spot, people are going to try to replicate it, and that's why all these MOBAs are flooding the scene.
Well, and it's also, I mean, it's kind of like you said, the WoW syndrome too. It's like to get me away from WoW and to go to another MMO, not just stop playing. If I'm going to stop, I'm going to stop. If you're going to pull me out of WoW or out of League of Legends, or in my case, out of Smite.
If I'm platinum in League, you're going to have a hard time pulling me out.
How are you going to get me out of there? You're going to have to bring in... You're going to have to bring something new to the table. Like in Smite. Like Smite. Now, we weren't League of Legends players, but to get me out of Smite, you'd have to bring out this huge, huge game that is just so definitively better than Smite in every single way, because now I have to invest. I've already learned 50 gods in Smite.
I've invested thousands of hours into it.
Thousands of hours, lots of games, I've probably invested almost $200 in the game itself because I enjoy it that much. Now you're going to get me to leave all of that, learn another 30, 40, 50 characters, gods, whatever.
Mechanics, maps.
Strategies, metas.
Yes.
You're going to force me to do all that? So, I mean, the saturation, I think it'll work itself out. I mean, it's supply and demand. If you've got...
It's going to be survival of the fittest.
If you're going to have 14 other MMO, or MOBAs come out here in the next 6 months... How many of those are going to stick? 2?
Right.
Maybe?
Yeah, the only thing is I will say to the follow-up question part where we ask how it will affect. The thing is, when we played WoW, we had guys who were hard cows.
Hard cows.
Well, we did have a cow.
We did. Tatum.
Yeah, one crazy cow. He was a serious WoW player. They all were. But they were all amped for Warhammer. I'm not saying it worked. The point is... He
got really big in a league, by the way.
Yeah. He's really huge into it. When you have a lot of these other MOBAs, it will take some players away. There's always... Because there's people in general, just whenever something new and shiny, and it doesn't have to be video games. It can be any hobby. Oh, that's new and shiny. I want to play that.
Vagina.
Well,
that's new and stinky.
That's true. I guess it could be shiny.
I'm gonna guess if you're doing your, you're
fresh wax, maybe.
Hey, if you're getting them ready,
fresh wax, some lotion, maybe some baby oil. New and shiny.
That's right.
Yeah. So, if it takes people away and it's a constant influx, and I do believe there is an oversaturation. I think MMOs kind of hit that as well.
Yeah.
I think that's why WoW, people have seen it, been done over and over and over. So I think there is an effect to it. And right now, it seems like there is a flood of everybody just throwing MOBAs out there.
Oh, yeah. Because they can, and they want to try to replicate the success that other games have had.
And it won't affect now, but I think there can be effect later.
If those games succeed. That's the
problem.
Even
if they don't, because somebody's going to play them. Because
somebody
you have to go on the ground floor to be, part of like the community.
Right.
So if you want to get on there, you're going to go to the next game, the next game, the next game, and there's lots of people who do that.
Well, here's the thing. The people that do that are the people that try to play the one game. They don't succeed in that game, so they move on to the next one. They don't succeed in that game, so they move on to the next one.
Sure.
I'm gonna fucking succeed in one of these games. They keep jumping ship. The people that get into Smite, smaller games that have some success and have some fun and actually join the community like we have, those are people who will never leave Smite.
I mean, you'd have to really pry me out of Smite at this point.
Well,
I don't want to play another
No,
MOBA.
But
I have zero interest.
You're the minority, though. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think so. Do you want to play any other MOBAs than any more MMOs than WoW? When you were playing WoW, when
I was playing
Warhammer
WoW?
came out or Rift came
Only
out,
because
or...
my friends played it. Actually,
Yeah.
I wanted to play Warhammer.
But did you?
No, because nobody played with me.
Exactly. So that's my point. You're invested, not just invested time wise, level wise, knowledge wise. You're invested socially.
But
too.
WoW also isn't Smite.
No.
WoW is League.
Right.
So I'm not saying it's like Smite. I'm just saying that when you have an influx of not say copycats, but a saturation of a topic in a market, not that people just leave. People will obviously eventually, not say get tired, but they'll want to explore.
Right.
And when you oversaturate a market, it kind of becomes old hat. Right now, MOBAs are like the hit thing.
Sure.
So everybody's doing it.
They're the
I
top.
know that it will
you
affect
got
now.
Blizzard putting out their MOBA thing,
Yeah.
or whatever.
But if it keeps up this pace for a year or two, where it's just constant streaming of games,
It won't.
I can't imagine it will. But MMOs kind of did for a long while. It seemed like this.
Yeah, MMOs. MOBAs are
There's a
easy to do,
difference. They are very easy.
especially the isometric MOBAs, because the sprites are small, the maps are easy to do
Your
because they're a top-down view.
Your graphic content doesn't have to be spectacular.
And you already know the cut and paste of how to make
Yeah.
the meta of the game.
When you look at Smite is by far the hardest path to take because they have to do 3D models of everything. When they release a new skin, they're not just releasing a different color. I mean, they are recolors. When they're doing a different skin, they're completely recreating the shape of it.
And they're re-rendering it.
Yeah, completely. It's a brand new
Some of the
skin.
animations.
Most of the animations, the voices, they're redoing voice packs for everything. And you've got a 3D world. So it's more like a first-person shooter in that aspect because you're rendering an entire map. It's not just like, oh, let's black some trees
I've always
here.
felt more like a first-person shooter anyway.
Yeah, of course. So I think that you're going to see more of those isometric top-down MOBAs just pour out because they're quick and easy.
I agree.
I like them.
Yeah.
And it's also proven. I mean, it's
Yeah.
also proven. Smite isn't proven yet.
No.
I mean, it's doing.
And it's not going to be League.
Oh no, I don't.
It's not as easy as League to pick up.
It's probably not going to be Dota.
No.
It's going to be a fun game that we all like.
Well, we'll see. I don't know. I'm very, very interested to see what happens in a week. Super interested.
And a lot of people were saying that that they weren't. Going out of beta is not going to be a big deal because the game essentially plays smooth enough to not be in beta anyway. But outside of this game, I don't play a lot of games in beta. I played ESO and I played this, and a game that you tell me, oh my god, this game plays so well for beta. But my mind, I'm like, it's still in beta.
Right.
And I don't want to play it. And then when you tell me release, oh, okay, I might pick it up now.
Right.
And I think that's going to be the big draw.
Well, I think, and we're going to see come the 25th, but I really do think that what Hi-Rez needs to focus on is marketing. They've done nothing thus far. It's all cheap little side banner bullshit.
Yeah, you never would have found it if some random guy hadn't told you. I never would have found it if you hadn't told me.
Yeah, exactly.
No. And that's an issue. And I know it's still in beta, but ESO's in beta too. And I know it's the Elder Scrolls, but they've also advertised the fuck out of it.
Yes.
So, anyway. Is that it? Or you got more?
That is it.
The mail sack.
We
You know
almost. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah, I think you were going to say
I was
the
like,
same
we
thing.
almost segued into our main topic.
Yeah.
Completely unintentionally.
O'Brien brings topics we don't even know about. He brings them, he's prepared, he's got them written down on his little notepad, and he asks questions.
And we all know our main topic.
Yes, we all know our main topic. Did you do this intentionally?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, he's a bad motherfucker then.
I was trying to get you to not waste the good stuff. I was like, we're kind of going there, man. This is segue. Let's carry this.
So he's just good at his job. But he's segued
I have a lot of jobs,
He segued us right into our main topic, which by the time this game launches, or by the time this episode is released, the game will be launching the following Wednesday, the 25th. This episode will come out on the 21st. So we're recording it on St. Paddy's Day, as he said with his little Irish shit.
Aaron go Bra.
Aaron Go Bra. That means something. You told me before.
It's kind of like Ireland Forever, but not exactly because it doesn't completely translate.
Yeah.
A lot of those things don't translate.
I've seen that in every Irish pub I've ever been in.
Yeah, I know. It's annoying.
Yeah. But anyway, so we're going to talk about Smite. And we're going to talk about our start with it, because it was all of our first MOBAs.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about where we are with it now.
And honestly, whenever I first started playing Smite, I didn't really have a concept of a MOBA. I mean, I knew what League of Legends was, but I knew what the game was, but I didn't have it connected with the word MOBA.
You didn't know that there were minions and towers and phoenixes and minotaurs or titans.
I
or
knew
whatever.
that there was a Anubis who walked around raping us, and I thought he was hacking.
Oh my god, me, you, and Andy were playing that.
Is that the game that he cupided in the tower at the beginning?
No, that was after he was experienced.
Oh, that's terrible.
He was on like auto walk and he fucking tabbed out or something, and all of a sudden he got first blooded on a tower. And we were like,
apparently you don't.
what just happened?
That's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, because you don't get it. They don't get any experience or anything for gold.
It's just funny. I was like, what? Wait, what?
Why did you die? And he's like, fuck! I walked into a tower.
All I heard was, oh shit, and it was like. An enemy has been slain, or whatever.
Allies.
Allies. I was like, what? Wait, what? That was on Smite Game, I think.
Was it?
Almost 100% positive that was on Smite Game.
That's awesome.
But anyway, so we all started. I started in October of 2012.
I started the same time as you, dude. You played like a week maybe before. You told me about it, and I think you maybe started a week before I did.
Mine was February that following year.
So I started when Ares came out. What was your first god?
Ares.
Ares?
Yeah.
What was your first god?
First god I played?
No, the first released god. You don't
No.
remember? Like the god that was being advertised?
I don't remember the god that was advertised, honestly. I remember I played first, but that's all I remember, really.
Ares was brand new when I started. Literally, as Andrew said, I didn't know what a fucking MOBA was.
Who was? Was it Hebo? Or Poseidon?
No, Hebo was already
Maybe Poseidon.
Because I just remember it was like, oh my god, this guy's so... Everybody was just complaining about how OP he was.
That's every god that comes out.
I know that, but at the time, I just remember... I want to say it was Poseidon.
Poseidon. That might be right. I don't have them chronologically...
That seems about like the... I mean, it sounds right. If you'd said like Mercury, I'd have said,
That's over a year ago, so it's tough to really dial it in.
Yeah. So anyway...
Crazy that Poseidon's been out for over a year now, by the way.
Fuck me. This is... See... Okay, so Andrew knows... when I first started, it was a viewer of mine was like, "Hey, you want to play this new MOBA?" And I was like, "God, no. I tried League. I've tried Dota. They're not fun to me." And he's like, "No, you can like play as gods, motherfucker."
Phone's OP. Nerf, please.
Mine goes off once in a while, but it's like, blotink. That is ear shattering.
Mine vibrates if anything, and mine's off.
When Mega Man
That's just
dies,
because yours is in your butt.
That's true. That's why I have it on vibrate. Actually, I have it off. So
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So vibrates my butthole.
You know, there's an app for iPhones that turn it into a vibrator. It's called iVibe, and chicks can use their iPhones to
double click the mouse.
Well,
at least the iPhone will finally be fucking useful.
Did it make a guy version?
Yeah. What would that be?
Like a flashlight attachment,
the USB port or something.
Yeah.
Milk. Prostate milker.
Prostate,
yeah. You put it in there, it's like you can select 2 fingers, 3 fingers, whole fist. Are there selection?
Are there any app developers out there that can help us with the Gamegasm prostate?
You're going to have to make a case. You're going to have to make a case. Specifically for the prostate. Otherwise...
Now your iPhone's going to smell like poop.
Well, it's life-proof.
Life-proof
probably covers that. It's waterproof.
Fecal matter?
It's got to be fecal-proof.
You'd think.
God damn it.
Let's get on the horn with life.
Hey guys, you warned your case if I stick this up my ass. Not the whole way.
Yeah, just
I'm not a weirdo.
Yeah.
Or maybe give me like an attachment that hooks into
the attachment.
That curves.
Extra money. We got revenue sources.
We're like Nintendo.
Why are we doing this podcast? We need to be doing this.
There's our extraordinary ability.
That's right.
So anyway, back to Smite.
We're athletes.
We're athletes. Yeah, we're prostate.
We're going pro in prostate massage.
That's right. Did I say 2 fingers? Better make it 3.
Oh, God. God damn it. I gotta stop. I gotta quit.
So Smite?
Yes. I think that's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
I don't remember what we were talking about.
The guy who gave you the beta key.
So he gave us a beta key, and I was like, you get to play as Thor and Zeus and fucking... Well, Loki wasn't out, but Odin and shit. And I was like, okay, that sounds pretty fucking cool,
because,
you know?
I wasn't like a big mythology nerd back in like school, but you always anytime
know them.
You like fucking Zeus and lightning bolts and Thor and hammers and shit.
Yeah,
fight people with that?
Lightning bolt. So I was like, fuck it, I'll try it. And he's like, yeah, it's totally different than League or Dota. You won't be, we'll joust or something at first, and you can kind of get the hang of it. And I was like, all right, I'll fucking.
So you guys played Swords?
I'll fucking do it. Yeah, so we played Swords. My first god ever played.
Oh, I remember who it was.
Sun Wukong.
Yep.
The original Sun Wukong.
Yep.
What was yours?
First
god ever played.
I think it was Kali.
Kali?
I think it was Kali.
Well, she was one of the main 5.
Yeah.
It was Kali, Ra, Sun Wukong, Emir, and
Artemis.
Thank you.
Is
Who's
either
your first guy?
Who do you think my first god was?
I knew who your first god was going to be whenever you started playing the game.
Guan Yu.
That wasn't your first god played, was it?
Mm-hmm.
It couldn't have been.
Yeah.
You bought the god pack before you ever started playing?
No, I take it back. Yeah, because he was the first guy unlocked before. Maybe he was on free. He might have been on free rotation.
No, they didn't have free rotation back then.
They didn't have that.
God, was I that old?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you unlocking Guan Yu.
I did unlock Guan Yu.
You did unlock Guan Yu first. He was the first god you unlocked, but who was your first god played?
I think it might have been Agni.
No.
Emir, maybe?
It was Artemis, Emir, Kali, Sun Wukong, or Ra.
I don't remember playing any of those.
I had to pick one.
I think it might have been Emir, but
I'm
I could
almost
be wrong.
positive there was a free rotation when I did it. Because I had 5 and 5.
I don't think.
I'm almost positive there's a free rotation.
Maybe.
Because I never played any of them really.
There wasn't a free rotation when I started.
I have a golden Emir now, but that was because I got into tanking. I didn't play Emir at the beginning. I didn't play Kali at the beginning. I know I didn't play Ra because I think the first time I played, you played Ra.
Yeah.
I'm almost positive it was Guan Yu.
Well, I'll be damned.
Because he was free rotation. When it switched, I bought it. The first thing I did.
Today I learned free rotation came out 4 months after I started playing.
Almost positive.
I know it was.
You could be right.
I could be wrong.
I
just don't remember playing them.
You could be stupid.
Because I played. No, you know what? It wasn't one of those 5. It was Shibalanke.
Really?
Remember my first beginning? I had Shibalanke and I wasn't clicking right. I was like, and finally I learned how to do it. It was Shibalanke.
I remember you did play a lot of it in the beginning.
I remember that.
It was like 20 some odd games.
There was a rotation.
There was. I knew there was a free rotation. I remember that.
I'll be goddamn. See, the problem with this is...
I'll be goddamn.
I'll be goddamn. The problem with this is that we played so long, it just kind of melds together.
Oh my god.
I don't remember the order gods came out. I remember like the recent order.
Yeah.
But not the past order. Fucking lost.
So I played a lot of Shibalanke, and then as soon as I got Guan Yu, it was on like Donkey Kong.
Well, Guan rip. Gotta bring them back. Bring the old Guan back.
Girdle.
Girdle was
100 to 0.
Yep.
100 to 0.
Oh,
that's
God.
so awesome.
Oh, Girdle.
So good utility too. Like you can escape, you could save people, you can initiate.
He's still really
best
good.
Initiate tank, and it had to be the best initiation ability in the game,
Oh,
tank wise.
You come out of the jungle and fucking like, well, you'd hear the
you're stunned, you're silenced,
and then you hear the Girdle sound. You're like, oh god damn it, Guan Yu.
Yeah. And the fucking remember the Guan the Talu Assault was bongos.
Yeah.
You know, instead of the fucking blades now. I miss the bongos. But anyway, the fucking
I digress.
Yeah, the map back then was hideous.
But it was good back in the day because we didn't know any better.
But it was gross looking in comparison to what it is
go
now.
Back and look at it. It's terrible.
They've gone
graphically, yes.
They've gone so many leaps and bounds ahead of where they were 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, whatever it was. It was like gray and dingy and dark in the jungle, which I kind of like the creepiness of the jungle. And I did not mind the side jungles. I enjoyed that.
It was cool, but I think we played it now. I think we'd be like, oh god, you can't. Like, I think there was just too many problems with it that you couldn't. Being noobs of the game, I don't think it bothered us.
Well, here's what they did. They took out the green and yellow buff. You remember the green and yellow buff? The fucking health and armor buff?
Oh god, Vamana mid, yellow buff, GG.
That was when they moved yellow to the mid.
Yeah.
Vamana wasn't a thing before that. But they took those out, and what do you do with the rest of the jungle? I mean, you had to eliminate jungle because you had 4 camps that were gone.
Well, then I heard it was like too easy to farm too. Like once you got there, then you're like, okay, cool, and then you could just stomp all the buffs, and you could. That's when you could have 3 or 4 buffs on at the time.
If you got yellow and green buff on Odin, you were unfucking killable. You were just a man.
You're still
already a man.
Here's a question, and just me thinking about this. Like for me, there's one thing that I actually personally miss. I know. Any game, no matter what game, our favorite games of all time, not every change they make is actually good.
No, and not every change that they make it might be good for the community or the game as a whole, but we're not going to necessarily like it.
Like for me, honestly, I actually miss the old days. For one specific part, first off, there was only a solo mid. Jungler was kind of a thing, but not really.
No, it was half jungle, and that was only Arachne, half jungle, half lane.
Yeah, and you're like, you're like, what the fuck are you doing jungle? You're not going to do anything. That was more for ganks.
Yeah.
The thing was, though, the games lasted, I thought, longer, and there was more of a real 2v2 fight in your lane.
Yeah, the whole time.
I personally enjoyed that. I found it to be more strategic. I found it to be more measured and paced. It felt more like Battlefield and less like Quake or Unreal Tournament.
Right.
Which, to an extent, I kind of feel like it's kind of more like that, which I know that's probably more popular. It's more kills, it's more deaths, it's a faster pace.
Everybody likes kills.
But I actually legit really, really miss that.
The 2-1-2 meta.
2-1-2, yeah. And it's been gone for a while, and that's okay. I don't mind the 2-1-1 jungler meta. I don't mind it at all. The thing that it really creates is if a jungler gets an easy kill early, it's really easy to snowball. And that can be troublesome.
My only problem, I like the current meta. I like the 2-1-2 meta because it was fun trying out weird comps in the lanes.
I enjoyed that teamwork aspect.
The reason that I think that they got rid of it, and in a way, as being an above average casual player, you have to cater to pros. I mean, you can't bounce around us. You have to balance around the pros. I mean, that just if you want your game to be successful.
I disagree.
I think if the game to be overall successful, I mean, we already said that esports are a big deal, and if you're balancing around your casuals. Then
that's not what makes you money, though.
The pros are 5% of the game.
But I agree, but I don't think if you're taking the pro scene seriously,
Then I'll agree with you. If you want to take the pro scene seriously and you want to expand your pro, you have to balance around the pros. But
and that's what I mean, like it or not, that's what they're doing.
Absolutely, and I'm okay with that.
That doesn't make you money, nor does it actually build your fan base.
And I've accepted that. I've accepted that. You don't want a god who's good just because it makes the casual players better.
No, I know, and I agree, and that's the reason. Essentially, one of the reasons that I've heard that they've got rid of the 2-1-2 meta was because while exciting for us, having like the Zeus Odin or having run these wombo combo lanes is on the pro level it became boring because it was just basically you counter pick and you'd sit there in lane and nothing would happen because there's no one initiating fights.
But they didn't change that in the solo lane. It's still boring. It's still a farm fest.
But even so, you have the jungler running around who does initiate things and essentially makes the game start early.
The key to playing today's meta is wards. The jungler is useless without wards. If you don't overextend and you have your jungle warded up, a jungler is useless. The only junglers that are an exception, Thor, Thanatos, Loki, because they can sneak past your wards. Both Thanatos and Thor fly over them, Loki's invisible through them.
Yeah.
So it's a very good chance that Thanatos, if he pops up on the map, oh fuck, he's already in the air. He can already reach me. Thor, the same thing. Loki, if he visits through, which he's not really a great jungler anymore. So the point I'm trying to make is you've got 3 junglers, period, that can get past your wards. So if those guys aren't in the game, you're pretty fucking safe.
Assuming you're not playing like an idiot, you're playing defensively, not overextending. Now, there are exceptions, obviously, but no, I agree with that.
So meta-wise, you preferred the strategic 2-1-2.
Yeah, I much preferred that.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I don't think you should make an overpowered god to cater to the masses. I just think that it's like anything. If you're a pro of any sport or any activity, you mold to the game. The game does not mold to you. I don't like that. And that's a real-world sports idea versus a video game idea.
A little different because the video game has exploits that you can kind of use to your advantage and shit like that.
Of course. And granted, you could change rules. Look, hockey changed their rules. They made different things to make it more offensive, and I get that. It just, for me, I preferred that. I was like you and a buddy, and you were in that lane, and it was friggin' awesome.
Right.
Like, let's do this, and the tank, and you got to work together. And yeah, you got ganks. There's sometimes junglers, and obviously people would break off when they pushed a lane. But the thing is, too, when a lane was really getting raped, you could then counter that, and then either rape your lane or spread over and help. So I felt it to be balanced.
Right.
I liked how it played. Now, I don't like it now. Granted, I haven't played nearly as much as you guys lately, but I liked it. And the jungle's bigger and it's different. I mean, that's fine. And it's definitely
organized.
Prettier.
I will say my one problem with the jungle meta currently is the red potion. I think that's the fucking stupidest thing in the entire world. Because red potion start, I think, is stupid because it doesn't allow... because they've made a lot of changes to gold and kills and experience to where... if you get a couple early kills, the game's not over. You can come back, you farm up a little bit, you're fine. No big deal, just don't play like an idiot. If you get killed early, level 1, level 2, level 3 with that red potion active, you're back 400 gold, and that you almost can't come back from. I mean, you can. It's been done, but it's very, very hard, and I hate that is a mandatory start item.
It's not.
It pretty much is. I mean,
it is.
Unless you want to fall back and farm.
Well, but then you're saying that Heartseeker is a mandatory start item for an ADC, and it's not necessarily.
I think Red Potion is much more close to mandatory than Heartseeker is for ADC.
But if you're a bad jungler, you should not be buying a Red Potion because you're going to throw $400 away. I'm going to say dollars. Fuck everybody else who corrects me every time I fucking say that.
Are you serious? People actually
they're like, dollars.
Gold.
Yeah, it's gold, faggot.
I say either.
Who fucking cares? It's 400 blank currency. I don't give a fuck what you say.
It could be
for
liras.
any game.
Yeah.
For any game.
It's
Who gives
rupees.
a fuck? I don't call
Gil.
Yeah, it's like I don't call it Gil. I call it gold.
I don't think I've ever been fans saying, "Oh man, I need some more Gil."
Yeah. Yeah. I'm always like, it's $1,200. because it's fucking slang. Just shut the fuck up. Let me say dollars. But my point is, you don't have to buy it. That's my thing. If you want to buy the starter build, then yes, you do. But if you think you're bad and you're learning, like Mistress learning to jungle, I would never recommend that she buy the red potion.
That's true.
Just because she's likely to die because she's new in the jungle,
at that point,
she doesn't know where she's gonna be.
Boots 1 for the movement speed, I guess, and then 2 potions. Yeah.
I don't know what I would do.
No, I mean
necessarily.
because there's no other. Give me another 400 gold or 300 gold item that gives me 10 physical power or something.
Boots has to be.
I mean, that's the only thing that fits in that 400.
Well, no, you could go You could go rank 2 of Hog to get the 60-second cooldown.
I guess.
Just saying.
Give me something that gives me 10 physical power or something that's 400 gold as well. So that I don't get the full 20, but something that I can keep and maybe even sell off, as opposed to that extra 20 that I have to have, to keep up. And then if somebody invades me hard, if I'm going against Arachne or something like that.
And I don't know if this is a normality in all league or in all MOBA games like League or Dota or anything like that. But why do we have 2 buff potions? I don't understand that.
Same thing you saw in WoW. You'd have buff potions for specific things. When you could just make one, it would buff everything. And obviously, your defense wouldn't fucking matter if you're not a warrior. It just seems superfluous.
Yeah, I'm paying 3,000 for one, 400 for the other. If I've got enough for the 3,000 potion, why am I buying the 400 one? I mean, 3,400 and I have both. I don't necessarily understand that as a starting item. So I'll agree with you. I think it's stupid.
I think they could do something better with it. I think that it's kind of become somebody did it one time, and that's how the meta evolves. Somebody does it, it works, and then people go with it. Great, but there's no other alternative. There's nothing else for 400 gold because you have to buy Hog, you have to buy Bumba's Mask, unless you're one of 2 or 3 different junglers. That
really
go with
one.
Chalk and Thanatos. Baka. Well, 3. Chalk, Baka, and Thanatos can all jungle without Bumba's. And I'm sure there's somebody else out there that can do it that I'm not thinking of. But you're already locked into either Bumba's or Death's Toll. One of the two.
One of the two. Actually, on Thanatos, sometimes I don't even buy Death's Toll. Actually, I didn't today.
That's true. Thanatos can.
He's the exception.
Yeah, and because he doesn't essentially use mana for the most part.
His passive is Bumba's essentially.
And then you've got Hand of the Gods, which is mandatory.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have 100% Hand of the Gods, and I'm fine with Hand of the Gods being mandatory. And Bumba's, I'm okay with kind of being mandatory because that's the route they decided to go. I still kind of go back to I wish they'd have people that were defined for junglers. But I will say people like me who try and jungle weird-ass shit sometimes, it makes it more fun that I can jungle.
It gives you more opportunity to do something outside the box.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about it is that League has Smite, which is their Bumba, or their Hand of the Gods. Yeah. So it's that item's essential. I mean, yes. you almost have to have it in the game. Yeah.
But you give me this 400 gold left over, and give me something else to buy for 400 gold, except for just potions.
Right. Question.
Yes.
Were you around when the Fog of War came out?
Yes.
In the jungle?
Yes.
How do you guys feel about the Fog of War? The ability for junglers to be able to close some gap on you and not see them.
I guess with my enjoyment of the old style, it doesn't really bother me because it's the way the game's going, but at the same time, it just aids more to jungling. And jungling's a required part now. And I just don't give a fuck about junglers.
You know what I think? You know what I would like to see them do is move, and I know they're not going to do this, it's too close to launch, but move the jungle around so that I can only see certain distances. Make it a little more maze-like. I'm okay with that. I can only see 40 feet that direction instead of 90 wall, feet because I can see all the way through to mid almost, I think that the Fog of War is a little bit forced, and the thing that I don't like about the Fog of War is that blink and the Fog of War is nasty. By the time I see you, you can be up my ass.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
Oh, that's not true.
Or sprint right now.
Kind of like
the sprint meta is crazy.
Yeah, sprint, they kind of need to do something about sprint.
Did you know what they did with sprint? Used to be 900
gold. Oh, yeah.
Now it's 600. And they also buffed the duration of the sprint on it. So now it's...
I got it. I was playing Assault last time.
Yeah, now it's a longer sprint duration, and it's cheaper. 600 gold is almost mandatory.
Yeah. You'll see sprint on 4 out of 5 characters, 3 out of 5 at least, on each team.
Yeah.
Thinking of that, just saying Assault, that's one thing I did like when they came out with the Assault, the whole style of map. I fucking love Assault.
You've seen the new map, haven't you?
Oh, of course.
It's fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, and the thing I like about Assault is Assault brought back some of that 2-1-2 that I liked. It was essentially one lane. There's nobody. You're not getting sneak up some douchebag who's standing behind. In fact, some of those guys of Loki aren't even really all that great in Assault.
They're actually terrible.
I mean, you
Baka's horrific.
You got to get way you have to have some lucky kills in the beginning to even be really competitive.
All of your not all of them. Fenrir's still pretty good, but most of your assassins are pretty bad in assault games.
And also they depend on if you have a good tank, then maybe if you get an area or something like that, or a Sobek.
Is everything.
Or Arachne is an assassin who also can lend herself to other assassins.
Sure. It's a real team comp anyways. If you get Hell and a good tank and the other team doesn't have any heals, it's going to be an uphill climb. But I've won that way.
They did just adjust that, though, to where the heals, you have to balance heals. But no, if you get Hell and then somebody else doesn't get
Which that used to suck. 'Cause back in the day, you could get, like, Hell and Ra and then some really good guys, and you have, like, all, physical carries. Yeah. And you're like, we're going to get raped.
The thing that I like that they did about I fucking hate that they didn't make it random.
Yes.
They had I don't know if you were around for that, but they had specific roles. So every team got a tank, an ADC, a mage, a healer, and a assassin. Or
then they also did it to where like whatever you got, then the other team got a mirror of that. So if you got five tanks, the other team got 5 tanks. If you got one healer and 4 ADCs,
right?
Hunters.
So they mirrored. I was just using those as an example.
Yeah,
so if you got one of each of those categories, the other team got one of each of those categories. Well, now the problem is that makes it only one team random. The other team is not really random.
No,
they fill certain roles.
Yeah.
So now it's completely random, and then if one team has a healer, the other team has a healer. That's it.
See, I'm okay with that because, like I said, we used to play WAC when it was truly random. Probably say 30 to 40% of our games were just decided, they've got a heal and a good tank. We have nothing.
They've got a mirror and Hell, and we've got nothing.
Out of the 100 games we played like that, we've won a few.
Yeah,
I've been times where we've won where it's like, man, they should have just fucking killed us, but they didn't.
Yeah.
The point is, I'm okay with that. You can be random with
heals
some
are so overpowered in that game.
Yeah, if you have a good Hell or a good Ra, especially Hell, you can keep people alive
indefinitely,
forever, and you can have so much defense. You can have just 2 people alive, and 3 people can hold off 5 just because you can keep healing.
Here's my thing. I think they need to revamp on that. They removed Cupid and Guan as healers.
Yeah.
So if you were to get Hell, I'm not going to get Cupid as our healer.
Makes sense.
Perfect sense.
You know
who else they need to remove?
Kind of blow.
Aphrodite. It's unfair that Chang'e, Hell, and Ra can all AoE heal your entire team, and Afro can only heal one person and herself.
And they're good heals and all, but...
Sure. But
it just takes her so much longer.
And it takes way more skill. She's got to be way more focused. She's got to micro more. And her kiss can be intercepted by enemy gods and your own team's gods.
And you got to keep switching if you're really trying to heal up people.
Yes.
It's not an easy guy to play in that respect.
No.
And it's chaotic anyway.
And at this point in the current meta in Conquest, she's a mage. She's not. She's not a support.
By the way, I don't know if you watched this week's tournament at all. Aphrodite Cha was ridiculous.
You know why?
Because she could actually heal a non-squishy target, and they both heal, and it's just like, okay, you can't kill. You
put her with an ADC, both of them die. You put her with a bruiser, the bruiser already can take damage, which gives her more time to get that person's life back up. So, I mean, it works. If you're going to do a bruiser Afro lane, that's kind of neat. But Afro, I think, still going to get focused.
Yeah, it was just crazy watching the tournament this weekend. I watched a little bit of it, and it was just like Afro got like picked mid game, and you're just like, what the fuck is this?
What just happened?
And then it's Afro Chalk all day long, and they forced him to. I think Afro caught a ban this week.
Wow.
Because of that comp, and it was Afro Chalk.
Wouldn't you have rather banned Chalk?
I think they banned him too in one game. It may have been either way or something, but I mean, it was just they ran Chalk jungle Afro.
Who did that?
Down to Frag.
Oh yeah,
DJ Pernigus.
DTF.
D2F.
Yeah.
Derp. No. DJ Pernigus running the
Well, DTF down.
Yeah.
I'm
sure that's the play on there. Yeah, I'm sure that's what they were going for.
That's what they were going for. Yeah,
I assume so.
But no, it was really interesting to watch because that's one of the first. That's why I like EU better than NA as far as the tournament. They do crazy shit like that, and you're just like, oh, that works now, and that's and that kind of goes back to the innovation that we were talking about earlier that you especially liked in the 2-1-2 meta. This is kind of innovating in the current meta, and it seems EU is much more likely to do that.
100%. And okay, here's another question: the tournament's coming up, the 190K, whatever it is now. It's very close to 200K.
I'm sure it'll be 200 by that time.
I hope. And if it's not, if
I'm sure
Hi-Rez doesn't
put up the extra
pop
5,000,
in that extra 10,000, you know what I mean? Here's a question, and you may not know the answer to this because you don't watch a lot of the esports scene, do you? Do you know anything about it?
It's not enough to be dangerous.
Okay, so you know what he just said. The NA tournaments are very
formulaic. They always have been. Back when it used to be like shooters,
yeah,
like Team Ogre and some of the other guys like that. They were very formulaic in how they did their teams, how they operate in the maps. I used to watch more of that.
Their methods and their metas are very cookie cutter. They find a meta that works, they stick to it.
WoW's the same way too.
Sure. The EU guys are the guys that are constantly pushing the meta. Question is, in the tournament, EU and NA are going to be mixed. It's going to be one tournament with both EU and NA teams involved. So question is, Do you think innovation is going to win? Or do you think all-out skill from NA being cookie cutter and sticking to the right formula is going to win?
I think it depends. The thing about it, I think at the end of the day, when it gets to the very final pairing, it's going to be more random. And I think there's a lot of things that people do this, and just it could be any board. It could be like Magic the Gathering. It could be Warhammer. Any game like that where you have people are using very formulaic list, and then you have a person who's going to do something off the wall. If you're not prepared for what's off the wall, it's going to get you. You know what I mean? I'm assuming if you say that you're saying that Chalk Aphrodite was a weird one.
Yes.
If you're not prepared that and you haven't practiced that, it's probably going to throw you for a loop, and you might lose. The problem is, how many times can you keep coming up with something that nobody's going to think and still be competitive?
Right.
Eventually, they're going to have to lean on what's probably more proven, and then that's probably what's going to end up winning. Probably a combination of both, maybe 75% perspiration, 25% inspiration.
Well, EU is where Sayo plays. And
Sayo
Sayo was
Zalia.
one of, and I don't know if he was but one of the originators of the Red Potion start.
Yeah,
and
Red
was
Potion
in mid.
Red Potion Naja mid. I
Red
remember
Potion
that.
physical mid.
Yeah.
He wasn't just, he played Thor mid with a physical potion.
I've seen you people go Odin mid. Sayo specifically.
Yeah. So the question becomes, how innovative is too innovative to where you kind of fuck yourself by trying to break an already proven meta?
Well, you know, people who want to be just, I'm going to do something different just to be a contrarian. And they're always, I mean, obviously if you're that skilled, you can, against most people, you can totally compensate.
Sure.
You know, it's looking at like even real sports, a lot of guys who are so good, they'll do things that are wonky or weird just because they are so divinely talented that they can compensate.
Right.
But the point is, a person who's maybe 95% of your skill and you're giving them an advantage, it will catch up to you.
Sure. So, final thoughts then. Your final thoughts, because you haven't spoken yet.
I would probably say that it would be, I would say NA.
So you think NA's going to win?
Most likely.
It really depends. I mean, NA is going to be probably a little more practiced with, because NA essentially
let me take this back. Let's assume that both teams are equally talented.
Of
to
course.
be fair.
You're just saying which way of thinking is better.
Yeah.
NA is going to practice those, 14 gods, or whatever in their mind this god pool is. If they've got a 16 god pool or 20 god pool, like, okay, these are what we consider the relevant gods. And we're going to play some iteration of them or ban some iteration of them. They're going to be much more practiced with those. Now, if you've got some crazy comp like, Afro Chalk, or you've got, some solo laner like Bakasura who could be easily shut down, but also is a high risk, high reward. I mean, I think if you got them in a one-game series, I think that the EU meta is more likely to win and catch somebody off, because that's how I think, and if I remember right, that's how COG got dethroned by the Down to Frag, because it was a one-game series, and they pulled out this Afro Chalk combo, and it was just...
They weren't prepared for it.
And I don't know if they won this. I forget if they won this week or not. I really do. But then does that work as well in a 3-game series where you go, okay...
In the finals.
Yeah, in the finals. And I don't know, are they doing a 3-game series on all the series since it's...
I don't know. I haven't looked at it. I don't know exactly how they're doing it. I don't even know if they've got that posted. I'm sure the teams know.
I would hope so.
Honestly, I hope they do a 3-game series in all the games and then do a 5-game finals. I think that's the way they should do it.
8 teams?
8
10
teams? Four teams from each.
So 8 teams, and they've got a 2-day tournament. I would have to imagine it's best of 3.
I would hope so.
In each leg.
You'd hope so. Just because of one game off, you could have something wonky like that and not really be a true... Yeah. Well, granted, once again, like we're talking about, always tying it back to real sports, that's my only knock on really football in general is it's a one game. It doesn't often decide who is the better player. It's
who's better on that day.
Or at that moment, or how the coin flipped.
Or the defensive, offensive matchup.
Or maybe how dare you talk negatively about football?
I know, right?
I see what you
I know it's America's pastime or something. It's not, motherfuckers. But, somebody did call baseball, I think, hand egg. I don't know what the fuck that means.
Football.
No, I think he called hand egg was baseball.
It has to be football is what he was talking about, because hand egg. Because football, hand egg.
I get it. I just thought
that
maybe
makes sense.
I thought I was thinking that baseball is an egg because you should hold a baseball like an egg, at least when you pitch or something.
Yeah. I don't think they were looking that deep into it. Football shaped like an egg.
That's my problem.
I think in the one-game series, I think EU's
very good point, by the way.
Is going to have a little bit of a leg up. And now if they can do one crazy combination and then draw out some respect bans like an Afro ban or a Chalk ban, and using that as a generic
haha suckers.
And then they have this other team comp that's like, okay, we're gonna switch our team comp over to this other wonky thing that you're not prepared for as well. I mean, if they can do that, then they can win. But NA is gonna be just so much. I mean, they're gonna have practice with this pool of guys, and you can only ban 2. I mean, you're going to have certain gods that are just going to catch. You're not going to see Zeus this tournament unless he catches a nerf. You're not going to see Zeus. No one's letting Zeus through.
No.
Geb's probably not going to get through still. He's still really good.
He's still really good even after the nerf.
And you've got Nemesis, who's really good still out there. I mean, you're going to let Nemesis through every game?
Yeah.
I mean, so you've got three gods that I can think of off the top of my head that are all ban-worthy in certain situations. That gives you one extra ban, not to mention trying to bait out bans, trying to, if you've got somebody respect banned, I mean...
I wonder if they're going to allow Scylla for the tournament.
Yes.
They are?
Because she was
last available god.
Yeah, well, she was also available in this tournament this weekend. So,
oh, really?
Yes.
Already?
Yeah, I thought so. It threw me off. I guess it's been the requisite 2 weeks or whatever. So,
damn.
She only got played once, I think, that I saw, and it was EU. No one played her in A.
No one, not enough experience, probably.
Well, no.
So, go ahead.
Final thoughts, because we're kind of running out of time. We're running long-winded.
Okay, I can imagine that.
Final thoughts. Future of Smite. Where do you think it's going to go? You've already kind of said that you don't think it's going to be League. It's going to be smaller than that.
Well, I just think that, yes, I do. I don't think it's going to be League.
And would you like to see it become League? Do you care enough?
I don't give
Both
a
of
fuck about League. I don't really
either.
care. And whether it's bigger or not, it's kind of, if you didn't play WoW and you say you played Dark Ages of Camelot, did you really?
I did.
Did you? I think I actually got you that for Christmas.
You did.
Did you really? Do you really care that it's not WoW? I don't know. I don't know that it's a negative one way or the other. Personally, I like the look and feel of it better.
Right.
You know? So I would. It would be nice if it got to be a growing community, but I don't. As long as it's a good game and has enough for it to be competitive and fun, I don't really know that it matters.
Fair enough.
I'm kind of in the same boat. The one thing I will say is, not to get on another tangent here, because I've got actually two things I'd like to talk about a little bit. Like, matchmaking right now is not the greatest. Especially playing at late nights like I've been playing because of my weird-ass
It's borderline
Smite game.
bad. I mean, I gotta be honest.
There are
it's
some...
the player pool.
And that is exactly where I was going with that. Smite needs a big enough community to where you've got a bigger player pool to have a solid matchmaking system. Either that, or you have to realize your player pool is just going to be X size, and it's just going to be a little smaller than you anticipated, and you need to improve matchmaking.
Yeah, you need to do real true skill.
I'm not the guy who's out here just fucking, lynching people for matchmaking. I mean, I get it. It's difficult to do, and it's not in a great spot right now. I mean,
and I'll be honest, I don't fucking care. I honestly don't. Because on my streams, I play with people who are level 1 and level 30
That's true.
that are better than me. I don't give a fuck. I play to enjoy the game and have fun.
But every game I've played since I've come back, I've yet to see anybody underneath me.
That's bad.
It's terrible. Now, granted, I only have like 7 masteries, so I know I've got some, but I'm not like these people where I don't know that I'm the only person most times with single digit masteries. We're talking 10s and 20s and sometimes 30s. And it's like awesome every time, and that is slightly frustrating. I cannot be the only person with single digit masteries.
No.
That is an impossibility.
But masteries don't equate to skill; they equate to time played.
And I understand that, but you can also look at their win-loss and stuff like that. You're like, okay, these guys are better,
right?
Or at the very least, equal to or than or whatever. I'm just saying you would think there'd be a wider range. Like, honestly, like once again, you should use Halo.
Well, here's my thing. I think honestly, and this would be the last thing we talk about this. I think honestly that Smite and Hi-Rez, not Smite, Hi-Rez specifically needs to be way more transparent about the formula that they use.
Yes.
Than they are. Because right now they're saying we use a version of true skill. Fuck does that mean?
And why the cloak and dagger about it?
Yeah,
it
exactly.
Fucking matter.
I'm using
Halo
a
just
version
says, here's
of
what
algebra.
we do.
Who fucking cares? Just tell me what you're doing so I know how I should be paired. Then I can tell you if it's working or not.
Correct.
Yeah. If you hide it, then you can say, "Oh, well, it's a player pool." Okay. Well, I have to believe you because I don't know otherwise.
Yeah. And close, the only thing I wanted to point out is I just want different gods.
Yeah.
Get outside of the pantheon you have had.
And they have. They've opened up Mayan, and they've opened up...
That's been around since almost the beginning.
They're going back to Hindu, too.
Yeah,
and no offense to Mayan, nobody gives a fuck about them. Do Slavic. Do... do something else. Another pantheon.
Yes.
Japanese would be really
I think
fun.
the Japanese would be really
you
cool.
could do a lot of different things.
I can do everything.
Aboriginal.
African even.
African, lots of different
I'm
things.
the god of text messaging.
Just give me something else. I don't know. Anything else.
I think it's the god of instant messaging.
You can do Native American. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Canadian, whatever.
The Canadian pantheon.
Well, it's going to be like Wayne Gretzky. Yeah, Wayne Gretzky.
Oh, wow. That was fucking simpatico.
But to kind of wrap it up on my end here, like, you mentioned, how big do you want Smite to get, or how big do you think it can get? I think it can be big. I don't think it's going to dethrone LOL. I don't think it's going to get that big. I don't think it's going to get that big. I think it could be one of the top 4 or 5. The one thing that it has going,
probably already is.
I guess, yeah.
Oddly enough, I mean, Dota and LoL.
There's a very lion's share of that market.
Yeah.
You know.
But I think the one thing that they have that, and we've already touched on this, that the one thing that Smite has that all these other MOBAs don't have is you're immersed in the game.
Yes.
You're not looking down on the game, controlling some person. You're in the game. And I think that opens up so many more avenues because they're doing skins and, voice packs. What's to prevent you from doing maps?
Yeah.
Literally I could buy a map pack and have the snow map or the
same map,
the exact
same build.
I could have it bought. You don't have it bought, and then I can play my volcano map, and you can be playing on the traditional conquest map, and it all is exactly the same.
The problem that brings is I can see Blank God better on a snow map than I can on the jungle map. You got a green person in the jungle. There's going to be arguments.
I guess I'll give you that.
But I agree what he's saying.
But you could do it. You have another avenue that other games don't have, essentially,
and it's still an infancy.
To get revenue.
Maybe they're preparing for that. We don't know.
I imagine they would be.
Yeah, they have to be.
I mean, with the assault map, you could have left the assault map.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't perfect, but honestly, they'd redone it once already and made it like the snowy Norse map, and now you've got...
They've redone the arena map now?
Yeah.
So,
Odin's beard.
Great Odin's Raven. All right, you guys ready?
Ready.
Oh, yeah, girl. It's time for the lightning round.
All right, welcome to the Lightning Round. This is the game show that we like to play every episode, kinda, somewhat. And you guys know we revamped it last time.
So yeah.
So we're going to start with Guess That Game, Jackass.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
You kind of know what that is about. I won last time, so I'm going to go ahead and start. We eliminated the system and all that kind of stuff. No clues. We're going straight to the questions. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
O'Brien's not ready. He didn't say he was.
I'm just saying I'm ready. How much?
Are you ready, O'Brien?
I'm ready now.
Okay, now he's ready.
I had to get in the zone.
Well, I'm not ready.
I had to focus my chi. I've thrown off his chakras.
Okay, here we go. Clue 1. This game pulls no punches and is on par with most of the funnest games that exist.
Okay.
Okay.
I tried to be creative with these
You are, Jesus Christ.
I like they used funnest.
Funnest. Most fun.
Most fun.
I actually have most fun written down on my notes. I still said
Sure you do.
funnest.
Sure you do.
No? We're good? All right, ready? Clue 2. If you love mini games, this game serves up a ton.
Without system, this is really tough.
Fuck yeah, it is.
Because I'm thinking like Mario Party, but I know I'm not even gonna get. And we've already done Mario Party, I think. So,
It's all about the clues. Man, this is like a real fucking Sphinx riddle.
Yeah, baby.
I'm proud of yourself. Yeah, I'm not fucking guessing. I have no idea.
Ready?
Oh yeah, I'm not.
This is not going to be a dead giveaway. You're going to have to think about all 3 clues together. Okay? When it's your turn, step up to the plate and have fun both getting and avoiding strikes.
Is it Wii Sports?
Yeah, bitch! High fucking five on that one.
Holy shit!
Pulls no punches with boxing.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, but step up to the plate.
If you love, because of tennis, mini games, this game serves up
a ton.
A ton.
Wow!
Oh, baby!
Fucking Oscar Wilde in this
Woo!
bitch. See, that's why.
You
Yeah.
like that?
I wasn't even on that.
I feel pretty good, but now I feel like mine are fucking terrible. Mine are to the point and direct.
God damn, that was good.
I'm impressed.
Nicely done.
Good. Okay.
Woo!
So I guess here's mine. This game takes place in outer space.
Space.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with theatrics because it's the only way I can compensate.
All right.
It can be after a while very tedious.
Space and tedious.
Because that's not.
Yeah, I'm thinking of tedious space games. I know there's one that it should be, but I know you wouldn't know it.
It's gonna be rough.
The title of this game derives from the heavenly object that you shoot while in space.
The what?
The title of this game is what you actually shoot while in space.
What you shoot?
Yeah, the thing that the title is what you're shooting in space.
Asteroids.
Oh, there you go.
God, I'm like,
God damn.
No,
I was picturing like shooting a laser. I was like, laser?
No,
like
no.
what you're shooting.
No, the title is what you're shooting in space.
God damn. Woo. Okay. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I like it.
It lost me for a second.
See, there, it wasn't intentional, but I'll take it.
All right. Now, not to copy you, O'Brien, my game also takes place in space.
Space. The Final Frontier?
I don't know.
I've heard that once or twice.
I assume nothing on that.
No.
I'm good.
Now, this game does take place in. That's hard to say.
Plague taste.
Plague taste in space. Takes place in space. You do have. You're obviously shooting things in space. You have different weapons, but there aren't very many of them. There aren't very many different ways of blowing people up. And along with that, you kind of have a team.
I had a guess until you said team.
It's not your typical shooter where you'll get 43 different weapons.
Is this another clue?
No, that was, I'll make sure I'm giving enough relevant information here.
Okay.
Clue 3. Do a barrel roll.
Star Fox.
God.
That was what I was wanting to guess after, too, as
Yeah.
well. Because here's the reason I was so quick to that, I stumbled, because in my head I was thinking, if he says do a barrel roll, that's all I can think of. If he says just the D of that word, I'm saying it.
Wow. Do a barrel roll. That was a good one.
It was a good one. And a classic.
Good game.
Okay.
On to the debate questions. We're going to the devil's advocate.
Yep, I'll open this fucking debate scene up, bitches.
Open me
All
up.
right.
That's why I'm going to have to give you a second to think about, because it is not an either or. It's a little open-ended,
Okay.
but there can only be one.
All right.
Okay, any fighting game, if you could only do, in real life, one move, what would it be?
Oh my God. We're going to take a break.
Take a pause.
Think about this. We'll be right back. All right, we're back.
Yes.
It took a little deliberation.
Yeah, it did.
It's open-ended. I understand that.
I like that. I like the open-ended one sometimes.
Andrew chose his first, so we're going to let him go first.
The floor is Anders.
I choose Cyrax's finishing move, blowing up the world. I feel like that I have a lot of power with that. Not only can I blow up the world if I just feel like blowing up the world, but I can hold everybody hostage for any amount of money I want. I'm going to go up to our president. Excuse me, Mr. Obama. I have the ability to blow up our world. Give me just money and bitches. And if he doesn't, I'm just going to blow up the world. Because I'm a robot, so I don't really have feelings anyway, so it's not going to really hurt. I don't really care about remorse, but if I'm a robot, I'm going to need money to buy things, so I'm just going to blow up the world and threaten it.
Okay. I went a very similar route that you did. You went with blowing up the world.
Mm-hmm.
I went with the guy who is invulnerable to everything, and that is Superman. He was in Mortal Kombat versus DC. You blow up the world, you know what I do? I fly to my home planet. What happens there? Do you kill yourself when you blow up the world? I'm pretty sure you do. You're just metal and parts, and I'm invulnerable to everything. Do you have any kryptonite on your body? I don't think so. I think I win this fight. You blow up the world, I'm out, bitch. I just stand there, let it disintegrate around me, and I'm floating in space like a motherfucker. What up? What it do? Plus, Superman can do literally everything. So, there's that.
Despite the fact that I just dislike Superman intensely. Just because it's the worst comic book character ever.
He does everything.
It's like, yeah, he just can't be beat. Every time there's like this kind of chance he can be beat, in reality, he just can't. Like Batman and Superman. What the fuck does Batman purpose serve? Mm-hmm. Everybody's like, oh, but he's so dark and edgy. Who gives a shit? Superman be like, listen, bitch, here's what you do. Go fucking make me some tea. I'm going to go ahead and solve all the world's problems real fast.
Yeah.
The point goes to Superman.
Fair enough.
Yes,
But I will say this. I was thinking like more of
like actual
smoke.
moves.
Yeah, not that you're going to be Superman or that. You could have been invisible.
I was thinking about
A
going
move like that.
I was thinking about
That's
going
cool.
Sub-Zero's freeze
That's cool as fuck.
Here's why I didn't. Because in the game, it only lasts a certain amount of time. And I didn't know if you were talking about in the game's power or like if I actually had the power to freeze somebody.
Yeah, power to freeze it. Because like the blowing of the world is a good one. That's the first one I thought when I made the question, but I realized it wasn't the end all be all. Because one, in your scenario, if I were the president, like, okay, blow up the world, and you'd be like, oh fuck, so I actually gotta like do this. It's like you would think that, and in theory, you're not a robot either. You're just Andrew who can blow up the world.
That's
Which
true.
is cool. You can do this, but man, that's gonna ruin your weekend.
Yeah.
That's true. We ruined everybody's weekend. Fuck everybody.
But I will say, I'd probably chip in on that ransom money.
Just so we're clear, if I wasn't trying to go like the end all be all move or the end all be all anything,
I forgot about the DC. That's probably just being invulnerable to everything, living forever essentially. That's pretty fucking badass.
the reason that I would have gone with Sub-Zero is because I could freeze you. It's gonna take hours before you deal. I mean, unless
you can
we're
freeze anything. This would be a cool like fucking parlor trick. Oh my, that beer's warm. Bam! It's cool as fuck now.
My
here's
other
the
thought,
thing, though. Why is Sub-Zero cool, but Iceman's a fucking loser?
It's true.
Yeah.
He's got a fucking cool mask, though.
Yeah, I guess.
Though I will say, like, my other thought, like, if I wasn't going to go end all be all, I was thinking, like, Shang Tsung, though. Because, I mean, you could like, morph and you know, do some impersonations.
And now you're getting to the heart of what my question really was asking.
I almost paused, and I almost said, are we counting Shang Tsung or people that can transform into everything and people like
but
Superman
his ability's
who
just
are invulnerable?
morphing. It's something he gets every move, but he can morph into other people. He's like Mystique or some shit, you know?
He did get a lot of their moves, though, didn't he? I think he got
he
one or something. I don't think
but I mean, you wouldn't be getting their moves. You would just get the ability to morph.
Whatever the move that he had to change.
He'd be a shapeshifter, essentially.
Yeah.
So it's my turn, right?
That's correct.
I have an interesting one. I'm going to go a route that we haven't gone before, all right? You two both own, separately, a video game company. Okay? You just created a game. We'll say you're the size of Hi-Rez. You're a small company.
Okay.
You just created a game that has been critically acclaimed. It's your first massive hit. We're talking AAA title.
Thanks, dude.
Good job.
Yeah, good job. Here's your conundrum. EA comes along, and they offer to buy your company.
Suck my balls.
You have the choice to let EA buy your company, take over the rights to your game, and you make a good enough money to survive on for the rest of your life, never having to do another thing. Or, you keep your company, you stand your ground, and you create a dynasty of a video game.
Well, obviously, I'm going to tell EA to suck a dick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you don't get that option.
No, I know.
So we're assuming if I'm building it, it's going to be a dynasty list forever. Obviously, I'm eventually going to come into success. Because by not selling out, I'm actually going to control the rights and also all the monetary...
Well, it has the chance to become a Mario. It's
not
guaranteed.
Not guaranteed. But if I have the ability to build it in there, if I take it upon myself and I have that success, I'm going to get all the money anyways. I'm already doing something I love, selling out just for... They're not going to buy it out where I'm going to become Mark Cuban and buy sports teams. Let's be realistic. They're not even that rich. You know, so they're CEOs. So at that point, I can control my property, not do what every band has done, every game franchise has done, is just completely sell it and make complete dreck for the rest of my time. I can actually invest it the way I wanted to do it. Not to mention, not only do I keep my IP, I can then make other games in the company and continue to flourish under my, like a Koei or Working Designs, make games for my fan base and actually be happy. And at the same time, still having a very good level of income. Because if you have any success on a game, you're making good money. You can spin it off, you control your movie rights, your book rights, you control everything. The only benefit for EA is you're going to get a little bit more money. But there's still that chance at the end of it to make it truly what you start out to do. Like, you're going to actually get a chance to live your dream.
The one benefit to having EA buy your video game is the fact you wouldn't really have to do anything. And theoretically, they're going to pay you a little bit more money at the end of the day for things. So you'll be set up a little bit better starting off, and maybe you can use that money to go into other video games that you may not sell to EA. Maybe that's kind of your jumping off point at that point there. And EA can take whatever you want and do and make it whatever game they want, and you're going to be getting royalties off of it, and EA is going to be putting out DLC for it. Like 43 DLCs that should have shipped with the game, they're going to be there, and you're going to... And people are going to buy them because it's going to be like Call of Duty and Madden and shit. People are going to buy the next one. So you're going to be getting royalties off those for the rest of your life. So while it may not be your title anymore and it is EA's, you can use the money that they're giving you to make your new title. And maybe that's your jump off title and you go, you know what, fuck it. I'll sell out on this one, but it'll be used to make the next title that much better. And if not, hopefully they gave you enough money to change your identity so people don't fucking give you death threats on Twitter.
The point goes to O'Brien, but it wasn't because the topic that he picked. Is because when you got no EA, I would like to hear like, well, fuck it, I'm out. I'll be on the beach, bitch. Enjoy working for the rest of your life.
I did say that.
Yeah.
Huh?
I did say that you wouldn't have to do any work.
But see, you wanted to go back into creating another game, which would have put you back into doing what he would have been doing had he not taken the job anyway, or not taken the.
And you're not getting royalties. Anyways. Yeah, they just buy your IP.
They just buy it.
Oh, well. All right. This kind of goes off my original topic of the original, I guess, a Game Jackass question that didn't make the air. If you had to choose a game that was more interesting to play, of kind of like the black sheep in a way of video games, Mario 2 or Zelda 2, Adventures of Link?
Mario 2. Mario 2 was... When you play Mario 1 and you play Mario 2, and then you go back and play Mario 3, it's obviously the sore thumb. It sticks out. But Mario 2 had things in it that lasted the entire franchise. You don't have Birdo. You don't have Shy Guys. There's things that Mario 2 created that have been a staple of the series since. The cool thing about Mario 2 is that it took all of your characters from Mario, took Princess, Toad, Luigi, and Mario, and made them their own person. Now, because of 2, we know Luigi's jumps higher. We know Mario is the kind of all-around average guy. We know Peach floats, which she has in Smash Brothers. We know that Toad is the little quick guy. And those things, those characteristics, lasted through the entire series. And I think that it was a more series-defining game, even if it was on accident, than the second Legend of Zelda game has been.
Okay. Now, on part of it, I do agree with you. I really do like Super Mario Bros. 2. However, I actually don't think that it was a more series-defining game. Well, first off, Mario 2 wasn't actually supposed to be a Mario game. So in that respect, it's only a Mario game which, like, shit, we gotta sell it. Let's slap a Mario tag on it. Secondly, though the characteristics stay the same, if you look at Zelda 2, that is a game that actually set up every other Zelda game. Ocarina of Time, they're actually Zelda 2. Zelda 2 is an adventure game. It is not Zelda 1. Zelda 1 is an open world game where you just go around in caves or whatever. That's not really like the other ones. The other ones are actually more like going like Zelda 2, that side-scrolling fighting style of game. Zelda 2 created all that. There's a lot more interaction with people. You're talking to more of the citizenry. A lot of things that it actually kind of turned the franchise into what it became, which is an adventure RPG rather than more of puzzle-solving based. I mean, you still have to listen to people in Zelda 1, but Zelda 2 is a real continuation, and it was meant to be that. So when I go back and play Zelda 2, I want Zelda 1 in a part of me, but at the same time I realize that this right here is the real start of my favorite one, which is Link to the Past. No 2, there's no Link to the Past. There's a Mario 3 if there's no Mario 2.
Wow, good arguments on both sides. I mean, essentially you guys both decided, you spun it forward, talking more about the characters and their attributes that you see in all your Mario games, and then you basically just talked about the everything that came from Zelda 2, and I'll actually go Zelda 2 on that because you're right. There is no, I don't know that I would have said a Link to the Past, but I mean there's no Ocarina of Time is the one that I definitely and you quoted there without that game. So
cocksucker.
Huzzah!
All right. Leading to the last game, what's the scores?
It would be 4 for moi, 2 for you, and then
mine will be easy to tally.
He's got a donut right now.
Jesus Christ! So
right, I've
got to win out, and you can't win.
Correct.
So I have to win both games that I'm eligible to win, and you can't win either of the ones that you're eligible to win.
Are you sure you're not Asian?
And theoretically, I can come in tied for second.
Well, if we tie,
for second.
We can't tie.
Actually, we will tie.
We will tie.
If I get all the points I can get, we will tie.
And then he would have a chance to steal a victory.
So you can still win.
I can. The shithead victory. Take it.
Hell yeah, dude. Okay. So for the lovely playing the feud here.
Yeah.
Mine is the best RPG series of all time.
So we did best RPGs of all time. Now we're doing best RPG series of all
Correct.
time. Let Andrew call it in the air.
Andrew will call in the air.
Heads.
Great radio again.
I dropped it again.
Yeah, well, you know, fuck. You drop it, judge me. He's saying head still?
Eyes and heads.
Andrew, you're up first.
Or you get the choice to be.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm going to go first.
Yeah.
Best RPG series.
Final Fantasy.
You know.
Gotta be.
That is number 1. That was a pretty easy one. I gotta say, I would have. You'd think that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Elder Scrolls.
God, this is it's number 2.
Figured.
I'm not hating it. Just I don't know.
This is where it gets tough. Those were the 2 guarantees.
Oh yeah. You know they were.
I'm gonna take a page out of your book.
I knew you were going.
We're gonna go Zelda.
Zelda is 4.
Yep. Figured as much.
I knew.
What a fucking horseshit crock of balls.
That's on the
I
RPG.
just said adventure game in that last argument. Adventure game.
Yeah. It's that for a reason.
RPG element.
Elements, yes.
Fucking
RPG, no.
Negative.
Now I'm fucked. Those were the 3 that I knew were going to be on the list.
I've got one that
I'm telling you guys, come on now. You're okay. You should be okay.
Okay.
I'm
series.
positive Peter over here.
Series. We're going to go with...
A series?
We're going to go with Fire Emblem.
It's wrong.
Not on there?
No. On a side note, just because I saw it, it is number 11.
Oh, I just missed the cut.
Roy is not their boy.
I'm going to go one that... Calling this a series of games is a little generous, but I feel like Dark Souls is going to be on there.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
I figured that'd be a prisoner of the moment pick.
No, both have an X.
I'm going to go Shining Force.
No.
What?
You guys are still missing some pretty significant ones, I'm going to tell you. Come
Shining
on.
Force is fairly significant.
I agree. You know it would be on my list.
Suikoden.
No.
What?
That's lower than Shining Force.
Yeah, but still, though.
RPGs.
You just got to get one on here, JJ, and it becomes interesting.
Can I say Mother or Earthbound?
You can.
It's not on there.
It is not. It's number 12.
God damn it. I said
saw it.
11 and 12.
Okay. I'll go ahead and finish it up real quick. I'm honestly, guys, the list is bad. It's not that bad. Number 3, Baldur's Gate.
I would never have thought.
Oh, no.
Honestly, I would never have thought that would have been on the list.
Number 5 is Coder. Number 6 is the Fallout series.
How is Coder a fucking series?
There was. Well,
I think there were a couple.
there were a couple, but Fallout.
That's a big one.
Pokemon.
Oh.
That wasn't on the last RPG list. Why would I think it would be on this one?
Mass Effect series.
That's
Dragon Age. And Kingdom Hearts.
Well, if you're putting Kingdom Hearts on there, I mean, like, why is Dark Souls? I mean, like, this is a relatively new list. Why is Dark Souls on? I mean,
Dark Souls really isn't a series. It's Demon Souls, Dark Souls, and
But
then
it's
Dark
also
Souls
not
2.
I don't know, it's not really an RPG either.
Yeah, it is a survival RPG.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess
I just figured that the list would have that on there. But...
No, like I say, I mean, it's
so O'Brien is the definitive winner already. I mean, we're gonna play just to continue.
No, you're not. Oh yeah, because you.
Yeah, I can't win, or I can't tie you.
So now, Andrew, what your list? It wasn't a good list, but there were a couple you should have got Fallout.
I agree.
We think way too much like
Suikoden, and it was a very...
Shining Force is a very big RPG series.
But you also got 11 and 12.
Yeah,
that's just shit luck.
Like, how is Baldur's Gate on there and Shining Force isn't?
Well, Baldur's Gate was huge, though.
It was huge. And there were a lot of Baldur's Gate in the series,
honestly,
too.
Baldur's Gate is one of the least offensive ones on there. And, like, Pokemon's not offensive.
And Mass Effect, dude, that's 3 big, huge games that everybody loves. Pretty big. And Fallout, so there's some ones...
The list isn't offensive if you're counting a lot of new games.
It really wasn't as offensive as you thought it would.
In this game, we have to think about more modern stuff. We gotta remember who's making these lists.
All right. My list is best Xbox 360 game.
Oh, well, there you go. We can think of all the modern shit we want.
There you go.
I have a feeling this list is going to be massively offensive.
It is...
Your ceremony and flip there?
It's something.
You call it.
Okay. Tails.
It is Tails.
Yeah, why didn't Andrew call Tails?
I know. I actually thought about it, too, just for that reason.
You should have. But you wouldn't have won that one. So.
I wouldn't have.
So I'm going first. Best Xbox 360 game. I'm gonna... It's asking for a definitive game. I'm gonna go Halo 3.
You, sir, have number 1.
Imagine that.
Don't hate. It is probably one of the best 360 games.
Fucking hell. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say...
You're mine.
Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
Number 2.
Good job. I'm going to go with Skyrim. Sucking Elder Scrolls balls, man, I'm wrong.
10.
Wow, I got it, but that's... holy crap, I'm
going to say Oblivion.
6.
Was a bigger Elder Scrolls game on Xbox.
You know what, I'm going to go with Mass Effect.
You, sir, would be wrong.
Okay. That was a really good game. It was also one of their own, you know?
Once you get the first, 4 out, it's really fucking hard. I'm going to say, just because it's this list, I'm going to say Modern Warfare 2.
Number 5.
That's so good. Fucking stupid.
I feel embarrassed for having to read that.
Okay. Halo 1.
Nope.
Really? You're going to have 2 fucking Call of Duty games?
Wasn't Halo 1 original Xbox anyway?
Oh, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Fuck my ass.
Yeah.
Oh, well. I deserve that.
I know, I agree with your thought, though.
Yeah, that's right. I was like, there's 2 Call of Duty fuck games on there.
Which Madden do I pick? No, I'm just kidding.
Right?
Let's go Mass Effect 3.
Nope. Not on there.
Okay, I actually thought of one that I think will be a good one. Gears of War.
That is on there. Number 4.
Okay, that's a little bit better.
So we've got 1, 2, and 4 out.
That happened in the last
1,
list
2,
on
4,
mine,
5,
too.
6 then. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 10 are gone.
Yes.
The same happened in my list, but you guys got 1, 2, and 4. For some reason, it seemed like 3 is hard.
3's the rough one, yeah. I'm just going to say Gears of War 2.
No.
Okay. I knew I should have done that.
On the exciting side, this could be exciting. If I get an X here, I'm technically in the lead, so you'd have to steal. Our first ever chance at a steal. That's assuming I get an X, and it's probably going to happen. Assassin's Creed.
Nope.
So you have a chance to steal.
There are titles here that aren't like out of left field.
Okay, Shot in the Dark. Battlefield 3.
Nope.
No.
Number 3, Grand Theft Auto 4.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Number 7, Halo Reach.
Oh, Reach, motherfucker.
Number 8 is BioShock. And I had
Big
to suppress a smirk when you said, "I can't believe there's 2 Call of Duty games."
There's a third?
Black Ops.
Are you fucking serious right now?
Black Ops is number 9.
Because I thought earlier about saying Black Ops. I was like, that was. Everybody played Black Ops.
Are you fucking kidding me?
See, I was
3
thinking of like
Call of Duty
games that were
games.
Microsoft specific, if I could.
30%.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do.
30% of the top 10 games are Call of Duty based. If you guys didn't know,
Call of Duty is the best game ever.
Wow.
Yep.
End of all time. That's terrible.
Well, you
man.
wanted arbitrary. You got it.
3?
3 out of 10.
Yes.
I mean, if you wanted to shoehorn 1 in there just to make shooter people happy, I get it.
If you guys get number 10 on this list, I will suck both of your penises simultaneously.
We got this. I don't care who wins.
Nope.
Our fucking powers combined. We're Triforce in this shit.
I don't even want number 1. I just want number 10.
So I'm focused. Just think
Okay.
like obscure.
My list is most overrated games
We're going to hold you to this.
of all time, any system, any platform, period, most
flip.
overrated games. Ready? Call in the
That's
air.
one number 10.
That's all I'm focused on.
Oh, Tails.
Heads. Brian goes first.
Overrated games. Number 10. Number 10. I'm thinking like, I don't want like the number 1 overrated game. Focus. You know.
Hold on, is this any platform you said?
Anything. All games ever.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, the problem with this is something like, what do people think of overrated? And then what we talk about. Final Fantasy VII.
Is not on the list.
Should have known that. Are we going to get goose eggs? I got a bad feeling here.
Nah, this is actually a pretty good list.
Number 10.
I'm not going to lie.
Number 10, Andrew.
This isn't gonna be number 10. I don't think. I don't even know this is gonna be on there. I'm gonna go League of Legends.
No.
I'm
I
going
figure
to
there'd be a lot of people who just hate League of Legends for the sake of hating League of Legends.
I'm gonna have to go Ocarina of Time.
That is number 6.
6.
Call of Duty.
Number 1. Ring-a-ding-ding-ding-ding.
Which Call of Duty out of curiosity?
It just says Call of Duty.
Oh, okay, Call of
I'm
Duty.
assuming it's encompassing all of them.
Okay, cool.
What'd you say the last one?
Ocarina was 6.
Okay, 6.
Not 10.
Ah, damn it.
If you get... honestly, I will know you cheated if you get 10.
I don't know you suck my dick.
Yeah, I didn't cheat.
And both of us, by the way, we're going to stuff it in there at the same time if it happens, man. I'll tell you that. We're going fucking deep up in there. Obviously, we didn't cheat, damn it. I'm not cheat.
If you did, and you pull this one out of your ass, I'd be like, I fucking quit.
Just quit lying.
Hey, if I do get it, bitch, it's legit. Overrated game of all time, Super Mario Bros.
No.
I wouldn't think that's overrated, but I'm just thinking of like huge series. You know, somebody might say it's overrated.
I'm gonna go Halo.
Halo is number 2.
Yeah, should have thought of that. Elder Scrolls.
Not on here.
Well, that is it. Then nobody got number 10.
What's the list then?
You ready?
Let's
Yes.
do it.
Call of Duty, Halo. Number 3, WoW.
Oh, I should have said wow.
Yeah.
Number 4 was a little sketchy because it was a mobile, but Angry Birds.
I'm
That's
okay with that.
5 is Minecraft. I thought that definitely needed to be on here. Ocarina of Time. 7 was Grand Theft Auto 4. 8 was Halo 3, even though Halo was already on here. So they had Halo and Halo 3. 9 was Half-Life 2. 10, TNA Impact.
A wrestling game?
Yes.
Was it rated that good?
I have no
To
fucking
get
clue.
overrated?
Like, I remember like
Yeah, we were never.
no.
No,
You're-
you're very safe in your blowjob.
Yeah, your blowjob.
but-
I think you were good on that.
What? Although Final Fantasy 10 and 7 were 11 and 12.
I was gonna 10 was when you said 7, I almost said 10 because that was the next most popular.
Yep. I was just thinking like fanboy games, you know, and I just didn't think about just. Then I was like just guessing popular series. At the end of the day, that's what pretty much what they were. Just people who hate popular series.
Right.
Because I'm sorry, Halo 1 and Halo 3 are not overrated.
No.
Just accept it.
I figured you'd have more people who hate LOL on there too.
I didn't. I scrolled through like 20 and League of
It's a
Legends
big
wasn't
enough
on
game
there.
in general.
Yeah.
Compared to all those games,
Yeah,
it's still
I
not.
agree.
It's dwarfed in size.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway.
We both should have.
Yes,
Wow.
yeah.
Fuck. Anyways.
Anyway, so O'Brien's our winner.
Yeah, actually, Andrew came up and it's a tie for silver.
Yeah. Good job.
All right.
All right, so we actually have a retro review this time.
Nice.
Hooray.
And we're running a little long on this episode, so I'm gonna speed through this one because honestly I don't know how much you guys played this one, but it is an iconic game, period, ever. I'm talking about the original Half-Life.
This is going to be you guys, because I didn't play much of the original
And I
Half-Life.
played a good amount of it, like we said. I probably played more of Half-Life 2, but
Well, not everybody. A lot of people did.
Well, you didn't see, Half-Life 1 kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
A lot of ways. Like, Valve was who?
Yeah.
They're just some game company that didn't matter at that point. You know, when they made that, that's really what made them. You know, like Team Fortress and your Portal, all the things that span out of it really span from the mythos in a way of Half-Life.
That engine, at least.
At least the spirit. Oh, that engine's what made their money.
So, Half-Life was the reason I chose this, and I've chosen 2 shooters now, Duke Nukem and Half-Life. And I'm not even like the biggest shooter fan.
You used to play a lot of shooters.
Is Call of
though.
Duty next?
But I did in my younger days
Overrated.
played a ton of shooters. And Half-Life was the first shooter that was like, you were in a world. It wasn't just like Doom, where you're like, I'm going to go through that door and shoot that shit. Or Duke Nukem, where Duke Nukem was pretty big, but
it was a different... Half-Life wasn't campy.
no, Half-Life was trying to tell a story.
Yes,
it did a
and that's
good
what I was-
fucking job.
And that's what I was getting ready to say. Like, all the other games, you said your Doom and your Duke Nukem, they didn't really have stories.
Blow shit up, please.
It's just about violence.
Yeah, and this, from what little I played or know, you actually, the storyline was relevant.
Yes.
Well, the thing about it is, a lot of your newer games that tried to, like, for example, and I was just thinking about this, was like Dead Space. Dead Space is just Half-Life with space and monsters.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing. You've got a shooter kind of thing. You're telling a story, and it's less about the shooting and more about the ambiance. It's about where you're at in the setting.
Right. Kind of like BioShock did.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of those games take a lot of what Half-Life kind of did and turned it to a different genre or perspective.
There were no atmospheric shooters before Half-Life. It was the first one that made you really feel like, motherfucker, I was just a dude, a scientist going to work, and now all of a sudden this fucking shit exploded and I'm crawling through the ruins of my old office and there's head crabs trying to eat my fucking face.
That sounds terrible, by the way.
Yeah.
Who hasn't experienced that?
Yeah, that's a normal thing. I think everybody's at least gone through that one of
least
those.
one.
I just have regular crabs. Is that like the crabs?
Well, this one you don't need a comb and shampoo.
Those are base crabs, not head crabs.
Oh, okay.
But anyway.
That's Half-Life 3.
Yes, yeah.
Base crabs.
So,
God damn it.
it was like, you guys know, I'm the least likely to be a sci-fi fan. But this is definitively a sci-fi game.
Without a doubt. I mean, even from the way that they art direct him,
Yeah.
it is a sci-fi game.
And, you've got the G-Man following you around, and he's like this mystery, and he's got this suit and briefcase on. You assume he's something, but you don't know what. And you're like fucking constantly trying to figure it out. And not only was it an amazing game, you already kind of mentioned it. It led to Team Fortress, which is now Team Fortress 2. It led to Counter-Strike, which is the massive shooter for a
Counter-Strike's
long
gigantic.
time.
I mean, it's not what it once was, but
Yeah.
I mean, for a long time, it was the shooter.
In the CS 1.6 days, and even into Source, Counter-Strike was the shooter. Call of Duty was a joke back then, in a drop in the bucket.
Like when you had SOCOM and stuff was like relevant.
Yeah, and I
I
mean,
liked SOCOM.
you had like fucking Rainbow Six,
Oh,
completely different style
love
of
Rainbow
game.
Six.
Rainbow Six was fun.
Yeah.
First Vegas was shit.
Vegas V2 is also really good.
Yeah.
But before that, I mean, you didn't really have many shooters that were competing on a level. And the thing that I really think that Half-Life did very well, they didn't take the shooter that you're playing and take that exact shooter and put it in multiplayer. They created a different game
Yeah.
for their multiplayer.
But they kept enough of the actual game alive so that you knew it was a Half-Life
You
game.
knew it
and
was a
not-
Half-Life mod. Team Fortress did the same thing. It's cartoony, but you know it's Half-Life. And now those games have spawned into their own games because those mods were so
I have
massive.
a lot of people who play Team Fortress don't even know that it came from Half-Life.
Yes.
Because I think more people now, like our audience, probably a lot more than have played Team Fortress.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Than they ever played Half-Life.
Oh, yeah.
They may know the guy. They can see his picture and his glasses and his space boot and go, oh, yeah, that guy's that guy. But they might not know what the game was. I mean, you're talking about the G-Man. I was played it to figure that story out.
Yeah. Still can't figure it out 10 years later.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, that'd require you releasing another game, though.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, I played the game to find out the story.
Right. Exactly, and you wanted to. You wanted to figure out what the fuck was going on.
And that doesn't happen in shooters very often. I mean, even today, like your Call of Duties and that kind of stuff, you play them and you're a guy rescuing people, and you've got some, but it's not.
It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen in any non-RPG. There's no storytelling in video games today.
Yeah, some adventure games, but for the most part, it's very.
Think of your top tier
paint
adventure
by
games,
numbers,
like Tomb Raider. No fucking story there.
Zelda, no story there. It's rescue the princess.
Yeah, and if there is, it's very shallow, just like Rescue the Princess. This is an actual shooter that took an RPG style story and put it into that world. The cool thing about it is, one game we haven't mentioned, fucking Left 4 Dead. There's no Left 4 Dead that exists without Half-Life.
Oh, I agree completely.
Because Left 4 Dead was created by the developers who went into Counter-Strike 1.6 and had a ton of bots that were melee only. So they were chasing you around trying to stab you with knives while you were one person trying to shoot them all.
Oh, I had no idea.
That became a zombie mode, and that zombie mode became Left 4 Dead.
Well, Valve's been a real feeding ground anyways for developers as it is.
100%.
I mean, a lot of them have left, but, I mean, that's going to happen, especially with a big company like that. A lot of your guys around come from Valve.
It's a game that we don't talk about enough and don't give nearly enough credit for how it changed the gaming industry.
It's a game that made a company.
Yes.
Essentially. I mean,
it made a company and like
there's
five other
series.
There's
no Steam without Half-Life, because without Half-Life and the engine it's built on, they don't have money. They might not even exist. They probably would have just faded.
And now you've got Valve as kind of the poster boy for what is kind of right in the gaming industry, or what a lot of people perceive as being right in the gaming industry. And they're trying to put out this crazy ass controller, and I don't know. I mean they couldn't do all this. They couldn't do anything they're doing today without the start of a game that at the time, I mean, it was a good game. And I mean, I didn't play a lot of it, but I knew people who played Half-Life, you and Seth. You guys were like, oh yeah, Half-Life's a good game. But at the time, I wouldn't have said, oh yeah, 15 years later, this game is going to be responsible for making this company.
It's Mario.
Not only is it genre defining, company defining, and series defining as far as creating multiple series, it's industry defining. Because the way people buy games on PC today doesn't exist had it not been for the original Half-Life.
And well, it's not a direct correlation that Half-Life created that.
No, but
Half-Life built that
led
company.
To it. Yeah,
because without Half-Life, that company would not have had the funds to create that thing. And not that we're focused on Steam.
No,
I just think that so many people don't. Okay, everybody's playing. I bet everybody's listening has probably downloaded a game from Steam.
Sure,
and they've never actually played the game that has everything to do with Valve.
Right.
It's like Half-Life, or maybe they know what it is, but they never experience it. That's the kind of thing you're not playing. It's like not playing Mario.
Right.
In a way. And granted, it's not. Mario is. There would be no Steam. Right. There'd be no Valve if it wasn't for Mario. So I'm not gonna.
It's like saying Mario. Pong led to Steam. You can't correlate back that far.
No. Without it, would anything happen? But so much hinges on that game, and a lot of the things that you like out of games.
Right.
A lot of that story driven, like Mass Effect or like Dead Space. There's a game that has a great story. Like there's comics and other things that go on off it. It's a lot of ways just that. Kind of like a Half-Life.
Reiteration.
You're using shooting and inserting an atmosphere, which granted, games have done that forever. I'm just saying that
not as good.
If you like those type of games, you would love Half-Life.
Right. The thing about it is that I will always remember that game, and I will always remember coming in for my day of work and going into the break room, and you can actually use the vending machine and a Coke falls out or a fucking soda falls out. You can go over to the microwave and press buttons on it, goes beep, 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 and then sparks go everywhere. And the guy walks across the break room and goes, oh, what happened to my microwave? What happened to my food?
And like back in the day, that's a big deal.
That did not exist. That
you
was
wanted
cool.
to explore your surroundings.
Yes, exactly. It made you...
You wanted to see what shit happened,
Yes. And you didn't start off as a space marine like in Doom. You didn't start off as a hero. You start off as a regular dude. And you went to work and it's like, oh, well, time to get into your suit. And you get into your suit, and that's what creates the HUD. And your suit is what makes you the superhero, not yourself. So it puts a normal person into a story. And then you have to use not only your wits, but also your ability to aim and shoot to get out of it. So it's I think, honestly, it is a defining game in video games, period. Of any sort. Short and sweet. But if you have not played the original Half-Life, they even have a Source remake. So it's a Source quality version. So Half-Life 2 quality version of the original Half-Life.
That's interesting.
Only knock I got here is that Half-Life 3 is starting to become Duke Nukem level
Let's pray to fucking God.
Because I've wanted some Half-Life 3 action for a while.
Who hasn't?
And the thing is, I've read about it. And see how shit, it's like, oh, it's coming. It's a couple years. It's this. And fucking shit, dude. Like, we were in high school when Half-Life 2 came out. You know, it's like, not exactly, but close. You know what I mean? It's entering almost decade-long pause.
To be fair, they've released Half-Life 2 Episode 1 and Episode 2. They've released extensions of the original Half-Life 2 story.
I get that, but to me that does feel like a little bit of a cash-in.
A cop-out.
It is.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's something that you would expect from a Call of Duty thing. It's
not that bad.
It's not that bad, but you're cashing in, you're letting almost a decade of your number one franchise just kind of sit there.
Right.
I don't need another mod. I don't need another game derivative. Give me that game.
Right. So anyway, I wanted to make sure that game, because we don't talk about it enough.
No, you're right. That's a perfect. Because we do even like in like the lists we do or whatever. You know, we brought up Call of Duty 6 or 7 times an episode. You know, in different iterations. We've not
usually making fun of it.
Yes, but we've still not given Half-Life its due, and it kind of goes to show you that. I mean, you may not see it as much now, but like there could be games that come out that just one game out of nowhere that just becomes this amazing game. And that goes and spawns something, great like that.
Right.
It's kind of teaches you not to take a great game for granted.
Starts a revolution almost.
Question.
Yes.
Did you play so much of that game?
I played so much Half-Life and everything that came with Half-Life. Anyway, do we have any games coming out?
So yeah, we actually had a couple games come out. Nothing coming out this week that's really super.
We missed some stuff though.
We did. We actually missed some. We really missed some big games. Hearthstone launched officially. It's been beta for a while.
I didn't fucking know that.
It was in closed beta for a while, then they put it in open beta, and now it officially launched. I haven't actually logged on for a while to see what the differences are, if there are any. So
that's been such a thing for so long, I just didn't even notice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it's fun.
It's betas. It's how honestly like Smite. It's launching, but I'm like, it's been launched to me.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like when you have all these big open betas, it almost kind of to me takes away some of the excitement of the launch process.
It does,
and the early access games like DayZ.
Oh God in heaven, I don't want to get your alpha.
Yeah.
But the point is, you played a shit ton, essentially, of Hearthstone.
No, not a shit ton. I wouldn't even classify it as almost a lot. I played a decent amount of Arena with Andy, and that's really about it. I played a handful of games, got all my level 10s and shit. But I'm not like hardcore. I dropped $50 in the game for pack. That's all I spent.
Yeah.
So and worth. I'm happy with the $50 I spent. So other games though that have come out that are in a way a bigger deal. Titanfall. Titanfall is supposedly huge.
Yeah, and you didn't save it for last, but Titanfall is going to be the biggest game.
Yeah, I guess I kind of went out
by
on
ridiculousness. I know you want to hate on it. I'm sorry.
I don't want to hate on it. I do. I will.
I know you are, but I'm actually like super stoked to play it.
It's an EA game.
I know.
Fuck EA right in their
You can hate on EA, but
we sit here and bitch about EA all the time. I'm not gonna go buy their product.
I'm just saying I think it looks like a good game.
Slightly different.
It's also
shooter.
the first game of the series, so it might be completely different.
Could be.
I'm just.
The second
I
one
think
will
it
come out
looks
next year.
really good.
Yeah. No, I haven't played or looked at too much of it, but I mean, like the idea. I've always liked games with mechs in them. Anything with mechs.
Mech Warrior.
And I don't know what the role of the mech is. If it's kind of like a tank in Battlefield or something like that, or if everybody's essentially rolling around.
Essentially, everybody's in their own mech.
See, that in itself is a really cool idea to me, and that would almost get me to play it.
It better be actually controlling a mech, like Mech Warrior was. Otherwise, you're just a guy. You're still a guy running around shooting just in a mech
what
suit.
you can do. I just am curious because for all EA's things, they do make some good games. Also, their good games are typically the first game.
So Titanfall 2 will be out next year then?
Yeah, and it will
Titanfall 3 will follow.
And it will probably suck. That's the truth. But Assassin's Creed 1 is a good game.
Yeah.
Call of Duty early on, it's a great series.
Right.
So I'm interested to see what the game is now. I'm not going to be a fanboy about it, but I want to play it.
Like, that's a game, and I don't... I'm not a big advocate of stealing shit or piracy or whatever. That's a game I may download just to see what it's like, and if I like it, I'll fucking buy it. Because you have to buy it to play online, obviously. But
well, of course.
That's a game that I will never, ever... I would never drop $60 on just to go, fuck yeah, I want to play this game. No way in hell.
It's also sci-fi.
It is. Maybe that's part of it.
Speaks big game about it. I'm interested to see. I'm interested to see how it goes over. Now that it's out of beta, it's actually being played by
really well.
So I'm sure it's going to do very well.
It's going to crush
because it's sold by EA. It's going to do well.
It's also I think it's not to say it's an EA thing, but Microsoft had a lot of things to do with it too. It's a Microsoft thing, and most of Microsoft shoot like the Halo things like that have been amazing. So I'm kind of more interested in that too to see how it builds that system.
Any time the industry has a game's dick in its mouth before the game launches, I don't like it. I don't.
You want to get the dick in your mouth after it launches.
Yeah.
You know,
I want it to launch,
the...
and then I want to suck its dick.
There you go. But the last game, and this
I
is
know
actually
where you're going with this one.
This is the one that I'm actually. You're probably more excited than I am, but I'm more excited about this game than I am the other games because it's more up my alley. Is Dark Souls 2?
I wish I could play it.
You could.
I could.
But
if I wanted to fix my Xbox.
Nope.
No. I'd rather just wait a month and buy it on PC.
What?
Yeah.
You're going to wait for a game?
Wait. I know. The impatient internet. Yes, I'm waiting. It's like end of April.
It's not like it's a big difference a month.
It's a big difference for people who want to watch your content.
Yeah, it would have been awesome for them for your YouTube to have this out, day one. That'd been amazing.
Awesome for me for my YouTube.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
Yeah, but for most people who aren't of that concern, it's not that big of a wait.
No.
But it does look like an awesome game. It is a fun series. It'll be really cool to see how it pans out.
Very.
To play it.
I have heard it's both more brutal than more brutal than the original Dark Souls. But I've also heard, which is a good thing,
yes.
That's what the series is based on, is extreme difficulty. But I've heard that a lot of the things you hated about Demon Souls, the original, was made a return in Dark Souls 2.
Huh, that's interesting.
And they did that to make it harder because Demon Souls was brutal as fuck.
Yes.
So like in Dark Souls, when you backstab, you're immune. That entire time you're backstabbing because you're just standing there.
Apparently
Dark Souls 2, you're not immune anymore. You're backstabbing, you are in place and able to be hit by anything else that's there.
Jesus Christ.
So what you used to be able to do is run in, dodge around, stab something in the back while 4 other things are hitting you, and they can't hit you because you're in that backstab.
And then you kind of dodge roll
animation.
out again and do the same thing. Which, in a way, in a game that's trying to be like super realistic in a fantasy setting, in a way, that kind of makes sense. I mean, it sucks.
Does.
I mean, if I were to stab you in the back, and
I can still stab you in the back.
Yeah, you could come up and murder me. I mean, I don't have like immunity frames. I don't get that. IRL.
Immunity frames.
It's just going to make people play a little slower, I think.
But those are 3 big games. We they're not, like I said, they're not coming out this next week, but we have to mention them as a podcast that prides themselves on knowing about new games and keeping up with new and old games. I think you can't not mention those 3 games.
No, they're 3 big games. Period.
But does that do it?
Not really anything coming out this coming week, I don't think.
No, sir.
No.
There's a tow truck simulator.
Yeah, Tow Truck Simulator 2015 is coming out or came out. Did it come out already?
I don't know. What's this?
You can live your dream. You can live your dream of being a tow truck driver.
All of them are on PC. They have Goat Farm Simulator, I think.
I would rather be a goat farmer.
Maybe it's just Goat Simulator.
They don't get
Lumberjack Simulator is out. I mean, you can be
still better than tow truck driver.
Yeah.
I don't have to be creepy and
slightly
trashy, probably smelly.
But you might get into some altercations. I don't know.
And you probably got a gun.
You take my car, motherfucker.
This is in Miami Tow. We're not repo tow truck
then it
people.
goes, and you go into like a first-person shooter mode.
It's like Lizard Lick. Oh Bobby, get the whatever. I don't know. Fucking white trash people. God in heaven.
Oh, shit. So anyway, that's going to do it for the Gamegasm podcast.
All right. Catch you guys next week.
We'll catch you guys next week. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out with us. We'll see you later.
Deuces.
Peace.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week on the Gamegasm podcast.